Oh. Morning, guys. Morning. Oh, how's everyone? Good evening. Oh, yes, it's your evening, isn't it? 8 Daisy, morning, everyone. Morning, wherever you are in the world. Success, guys. There we go. Right, done. Oh, why is it so early? Why? Who thought this was a good idea? Oh, you're trying to finish an ice cream cake. Ugh. Can't think of having ice cream at this time in the morning. Oh, but yes, welcome everyone. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me so early in the morning, wherever you are in the world. But yeah, let's see what we have in store for this Las Vegas Grand Prix. We'll give it a few minutes, and then obviously we'll have a look at the strategies for today, as we traditionally do here. Have a look at obviously the tyre allocations of who has what left, and then of course we'll head into the live data and the race. Hopefully, actually, is it up and running already? No, it's not ready just yet, but okay. Morning, Escobar. Morning. Hope you're doing well. Oh, you have to wake up at 6 AM for the European races. Yeah, but... God's still 1 AM. Oh, Gordon Ramsay is on the grid walk. I must admit, the grandstands along the start-finish line do look busy, which is a lot of money. Everyone who's paid for a ticket on the grandstands on the start-finish straight have spent fortunes. Could buy a house of those tickets. Morning all, good to see you. Why do we follow a sport that moves time zones? Do I think Charles has a chance today? Well, we're about to... We'll give it just a couple more minutes and we'll have a look at the strategies. I was positive about Charles yesterday. I'm less as positive today. And you'll find out in a second why. So, I'm hoping so. I really am hoping so. It all depends on how heavy the tyre deg is here. I still don't think the tyre deg is too much here. But if they have any sort of deg at all, the race is pretty much going to fall into Max's hands again. And you'll find out why in a second, as we'll look at the strategies for today and the tyre allocations. So, will the oil leak situation have any effect? What oil leak situation? Has he got? Has he had an oil leak? Don't do this to me. What's happened? Is there something wrong with his car? The car Lewis was in had an oil leak during the parade. No one of the parade car broke and leaked oil on track. Oh, well, yeah, it definitely won't help. Yes, that definitely won't help. Hey, Emily. What time is it for you? It must be like, what, nice... Was it like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon for you? Nice evening, nice afternoon race for you. But isn't your home race. 4:30 PM, oh lovely, you can have a nice Sunday roast. I've literally just woke up. Time zones, who created them, eh? Right, a few more of you are in here now, so let's have a look at the strategies for today. Let's have a look, because I think it's going to come. Well, I don't know. A lot of it, I think strategy is definitely going to play a factor here. Wrong one. 34 degrees. Yeah, you're just going into summer, aren't you? Right, guys, right. Let's just close chat for a sec. Right, so we have today the option of 4 varying strategies. So, it is basically going to be either a 2-stopper or a 1-stopper. I reckon if there's no safety cars, there's no red flags, it is definitely going to be a 1-stopper. I just don't see there being too much deg for there to be two stops, unless like the cars are going that quick. Now, Max Verstappen pretty much he'll probably start on the medium tyre, and you'll find out why in a second. Well, they definitely all will start on the medium tyre because it's the grippiest tyre, the softer compound. The soft tyre doesn't seem to be a good race tyre. I thought it potentially was going to be a race tyre, but that's why I'm not a strategist and these guys are. But yes, Max Verstappen has 2 sets of mediums and 2 sets of hards available to use today, so he can do whatever he likes. However, everyone else has pretty much 1 set of mediums and 1 set of hards to use, brand new wise, or they have brand new set of mediums or a brand new set of... They don't have 2 of each, basically. Max is the only one. As it kind of has been all season, he's just always had that flexibility when it comes to strategy. So I don't see this being a 2-stopper. I'll be surprised if we see anyone go for it. But yes, the 2, because I just don't think deg is going to be that high for a 2-stopper, especially with hards at least. Maybe mediums, but we'll see. We'll see. I think some safety cars are going to throw some spanners in the work. I think we're definitely going to get some. And then if we look at tyre allocation, well, yeah, as I just confirmed, so Max is the only one with 2 sets of mediums and 2 sets of hards to use. Perez has 2 sets of hards, 1 medium, and 2 brand new sets of softs. That's the same as Hamilton as well, because they both qualified outside the top 10 and did make it through to Q3. So if we have a red flag and we have a safety car maybe towards the end of the race, that could be good for them. That could make them aggressive and potentially serve them in good stead at the end of the race. But I don't see them really using those softs anytime kind of the first 3 quarters of the race. So yeah, Leclerc has 2 sets of hards and 1 set of mediums. So I was more positive. If it's a standard 1-stop, I think Leclerc might have an opportunity. But yeah, if it's a 2-stopper and it does fall into being a 2-stop, I think Max is easily going to win this with 2 mediums. So that's what I thought, Emily. I didn't think the deg was high enough, and I didn't think the track temperatures were high enough for the soft compound tyre to be... I didn't even think the hard tyre was going to be a tyre of choice. To be honest with you, I mean, how are they going to get heat in those hards? I mean, the Mercedes must hate the hards. I'm surprised they haven't got an extra set of mediums. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Good luck to Charles and his Ferrari fans. Yeah, fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. So, yeah, that's basically the strategy for today. I don't know. I mean, it is a bit of an unknown. That's the thing. It is a bit of an unknown. We don't know what this race is going to be like over a race distance. To be honest, to see what the deck is like. I did see reports that obviously they did do long runs with. This isn't a sprint weekend, so they've had the opportunity to dial in the setup and to do some long runs. But still. I don't know. Martin Brundle being told, this Tiesto. And he's like, huh? Who's Tiesto? Those hards will get to 85 degrees. So, yeah, that's basically that. We still haven't got our live timing up yet, guys. So, bear with us for that so that we can then change back to the scenery for that. So we'll see. But everyone seems to be nice to Martin Brundle on this grid walk today. Good to see. Good to see the man get the respect he deserves. It is 5:30 AM. My alarm went off at 5 o'clock. I did not get up for my alarm at 5 o'clock. You'll be unsurprised to hear. I got up at just before quarter past. So I'm still waking up, yes. Oh, hoping for a Williams double points today. Yes, I don't think they'll get it. With Albon, they probably will. But Logan Sargent, obviously, there's still a lot to be desired. So we'll see. Oh no, Shaquille O'Neal blanking Martin Brundle. Ridiculous. Do you not know who the man is? But yeah, I think predictions for today, guys. What are your predictions? Do you think Charles is going to win? Do you think it's going to be another Max win? Of course, Max has that ridiculous stat where he's won more races when Charles Leclerc's been on pole than Charles Leclerc has actually won when he's been on pole. So Max must sit there and just go, ha ha ha. Happy days, Charles is on pole again. So, I don't know if Charles will have enough today. I really hope he does. I'm hoping the cooler temperatures will help him with the tyre deg. And we'll see. I think we'll see Lewis probably make his way through the field. He is starting P10 today. And I think... Keep an eye on George Russell as well. Keep an eye on George Russell. He seems to be a little bit more in tune this weekend with the Mercedes than Lewis does. And he's only starting third. He'll be starting third now, I think. Third because of Sainz's penalty drop. So, but I think we're going to see, with the cold temperatures, with the hard compounds and the medium compounds, full fuel at the start. I think we're going to see a few lockups. I think we might see some people in the wall and some mistakes and possibly some red flags. So we'll see. We haven't seen cars go wheel to wheel at this circuit yet. Max getting P1 like always, yeah. To be fair, right. So I've got a bit to say about Max actually again, because he's always in the midst of it, isn't he? Always in the midst of it. So I'm all for it today, for Max actually winning the race and then just slagging off the event and slagging off the track when he's getting interviewed, and in the post-press, like the post-race presser and stuff. Because he's been on form this weekend. He's just not given two fucks when it comes to that. So I'm all for that. I'm all for him winning the race and just slagging off everyone. Don't want him to win it because he's won enough races this year. And also, I feel like, how has he not got a penalty for yesterday in qualifying with the Ocon thing? He's intentionally come out after the race, guys. So if anyone didn't know this, of course, Ocon decided to get past Max Verstappen to start his lap. Ocon was in the drop zone. Max was holding up 4 cars at the time. I think it was Gasly, Zhou, Hamilton and Ocon. And Max was like saying obviously he was prepping his lap, but then they was all fading. Max was going so slow that they were struggling to get temperature in the tyres, and they also was struggling to achieve the maximum delta time, like the maximum lap time they can get to go around the circuit. They can't just go around as slow as they like. So they was at risk of a penalty, and Ocon is already in the drop zone, needs to get a lap in. Max is kind of going a little too slow for his liking, and he's like, well, I'm going to go past. I need to just continue on and get my lap done. And Max doesn't like this as Ocon goes by. Feels like he's done it too late for one. And Max goes, I'm going to ruin his lap. I'm going to ruin his lap. Sends it into T1, both on the flying lap. And yeah, they obviously have a bit of a go at each other on the radio. He ends up going in the interviews afterwards and saying, yeah, he screwed me over, so I thought, fuck you. And like, that's me paraphrasing, but he's definitely come out in a Dutch TV interview afterwards admitting that he sent it on Ocon into T1 to deliberately stop his lap. Now, I don't know about you, but surely there's a regulation somewhere for a penalty for that. There is somewhere for a penalty for that, for like unsportsmanlike conduct, like, you know, like a yellow card that you get in football or something. Like, I just don't get it. If there's any other driver, I feel like they get penalised. And the thing is that once again, he just gets away with it. No one appeals it. And Zhou didn't get through because of Max kind of holding him up because of it. Like, that ruined Zhou's lap behind. He didn't get through Q1. Of course, Ocon didn't get through Q1. I'm surprised the teams didn't make more of a fuss over it, to be honest with you. But I do think he's got I don't think he's untouchable, but I do think there is a lot of evidence now since in the last couple of years that he is treated differently when it comes to penalties. Like Singapore this year, they said he should have got a penalty for the pit lane, for stopping at the end of the pit lane. He should have got a penalty for impeding Tsunoda. He didn't. They even came out and admitted it. And then it came to Mexico. He did it again in the pit lane. And they said, oh, well, we'd rather it would be in the end of the pit lane than at sector 3. Sorry, when has that ever been an acceptable excuse? You've literally said a few weeks ago that he should have got a penalty for it. He didn't. And then the following race, which was Brazil, Max is the only driver not to do it. Well, Max is not the only driver. Like, George did it and a couple of other drivers did it in the pit lane. They went too slowly. And I saw someone say, they was unfortunate that Max wasn't involved in doing that again, because if Max was involved in it, they probably wouldn't have dished out a penalty. But because Max didn't kind of hold at the end of the pit lane, they was able to dish out. So yeah, and then of course this time around again. Look, when you are champion and when you're in a big team, it's like in any sport. You get the calls. You get the big calls go for you. It's just how it goes. It always does. Like if you're watching football, the big teams internationally, Brazil, France, and then like Man United and stuff like that, they always get the big decisions go for them, generally. It's just always how it has gone. And it's the same in F1 as well. Why is my live timing not working yet? This is really frustrating. We have 10 minutes remaining and the live timing is still not working. Come on. What is going on here? This is ridiculous. Apologies, guys. I am trying to sort out the live timing so that we could get and see the actual grid. It looks very windy. It does look very windy on the grid, by the way. Live timing's not working yet. This is very frustrating. Mexico was excusable. Inexcusable. Yeah, I think Mexico was inexcusable. I mean, they basically made up their own rule on the spot and went, oh, we'd rather them do it at the end of the pit lane. That has never, ever been acceptable, guys. Never, ever in the whole history of F1, stopping at the end of the pit lane and blocking people. And then he actually blocked people, and people went, oh, we didn't stop at the end of the pit lane. Well, you don't have to stop. He's going at a literal crawl and moving his car to stop people from going past. And they're like, well, we'd rather it not happen in sector 3. Yeah, but they've never accepted that being an alternative of slowing down in the pit lane. Like, there's a considerable amount of people in the end of the pit lane, and those cars, while it doesn't look like it on TV, are still going 50 miles an hour down the pit lane. Now, on a road, you have a car come past you at 50 miles an hour. That is quick. That is quick. So yeah, there's a lot of danger there of people obviously getting caught up in some crashes if F1 cars crash at the end of the pit lane by that. But why is my live timer not working yet, guys? Apologies, bit of a delay here. He's the Man City of F1. Yes, pretty much he is. Yeah, at the moment. But the ironic thing is that it would probably make F1 a bit more interesting if he did get these penalties, because he's in such a fast car. He wouldn't just get into P1 in the first corner and then drive away with the win. He'd actually have to fight for it a little bit harder, at least, if he got, say, a 3-place grid penalty or 5-place, etc. So, why is my live... This is really annoying that my live timing isn't working at the moment. What is going on here? Why is it so delayed? Come on. We have 8 minutes until the race, and my live timing is normally up and running now, and it says you may be offline or connection is unstable. That's not me. That's definitely not me. What is going on with multi-viewer? Apologies, guys, bit of technical issues here just at the moment. Just trying to get the live timing up and running in the track map. Not entirely sure why it's not coming through yet. I'll see if he's saying anything on Twitter. Oh my god, why is it not working, man? This is really, really frustrating and annoying right now. Where is it? Yeah, everyone reporting, but it's not working right now. Yeah, everyone reporting, but fucking multi-viewers not working at the moment. Oh, this is great. Come on, sort your shit out, please. People saying live timing is down on a number of sites they use at the moment. Oh, this isn't great. What is going on here? Live timing issues everywhere. It must be F1 then. Must be F1. I'll see if I can get it on the other free one that I use. But I imagine they all tap in from... I imagine they all tap into the same bit. Oh, we've got all the AI subscription things coming through. No telemetry even on the official F1 app. So it is a telemetry issue coming from F1 at the moment. Oh no, guys. Oh no, this is not good. Don't tell me I've woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning for nothing to come through. So yeah, it's not multi-viewer issue. It is at the moment a F1 live issue. So Mills, what I use is basically multi-viewer. It is a free app. However, it does require an F1 TV subscription. So I don't have the pro version because over in the UK we don't get it. I don't think it works even with VPNs. But yeah, I think for £20, 20 something odd pounds per year, you get the live timing on F1. So yeah, you need an F1 live F1 TV subscription, and then you can have then log into multi-viewer through that, and it's just a much better. It just massively elaborates on what the F1 feed does. So. Everyone's reporting live timing is broken for everyone. Another thing to basically have a go at, guys. Another thing that's not working this weekend for F1. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, Liberty Media. Well done. Who thought this was a fucking great idea to have a race in Vegas, eh? We're 3 minutes away from this race getting underway, guys, and I do apologise, but we have no live timing anywhere at the moment. F1's live timing is just non-existent at this moment in time. It's not program related, it is F1 related. Surely this isn't by design. Surely it's not by design. You cannot have not live timing data. You can't. Like, that's just... Morning, everyone. Another Vegas FIA poop, yeah, definitely. I'm just logging into the F1 website now just to see if the timing works on their actual website, but that's what I mean. It taps into that anyway. That's definitely not. That's from practice. So I've just loaded up the F1. I've just loaded up F1's live timing, and it's still showing. What? It's showing the United States Grand Prix, not the Vegas Grand Prix. What? Oh mate, it's just absolutely, it's just gone. People are reporting it's working now. The official F1 help channel says we're aware of the issue and the team are looking into it. So bear with us, guys. We may, unfortunately, miss the start of this rule. We are going to miss the start of this race with the live timing and the track map. I will update you as soon as we have the track map available. I will keep you up to date with the race via the TV coverage. My TV coverage, unfortunately, as well, is also slightly delayed. So yes, I will keep you updated with just a bit of live commentary in the meantime. But yeah, unfortunately, F1, another thing to top off this weekend, not going well, is that the live timing by F1 is not working. So anyone who's doing a watch along will be lacking in basically live timing at this moment in time. So but yes, I do have the TV coverage on, formation laps starting. Yeah, I will do my best, guys, although my TV coverage is a little bit behind. I'll provide coverage and hopefully get the timings get back on as quickly as possible. But yeah, not ideal, not ideal. Even F1 official journalists are saying they don't have the timing either. So yeah, I can't imagine. It must be. It's just everywhere. Yes, it's up. 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 Oh my God! Just in time. Just in time, ladies and gentlemen. Just in time for this Las Vegas Grand Prix. The live timing is up and running. Here we go. Here we go. Oh my God, just in time. Just in time. Oof. Right, here we go, guys. We are only seconds away, just in time for this Las Vegas Grand Prix. Strap in, guys. Do up your belt buckles as Leclerc is. What's interesting here, I think, have they got enough room to start on the straight there, or are they? Is people going to be starting on the corner? Here we go, last moment save. Welcome everyone, if you're just tuning in for the Vegas Grand Prix. We are only seconds away. Let's have a quick update of tyres. Everyone's starting on the medium except Hamilton, who is starting on the hard. I can't imagine he's going to be too keen about that because Mercedes has been very, very struggling with tyre warm-up, especially at a cold track like this, which is only 18.5 degrees. So he's going to try and do the overcut, so we'll see how that plays out for him. Just needs to keep it out of trouble until he gets those temps up. We have Piastri and Zhou also on the hards, and we have Stroll and Tsunoda just rolling the dice and going for softs at the end of the grid here. So here we go. Everyone is lined up. Tsunoda is at the back of the grid, and it is only seconds away until we have lights out and... away we go. Who's made a good start down into T1? Has Leclerc been able to stay ahead of Verstappen down into that short run to turn 1? It does seem like he has been able to. So through turn 2 and turn 3. All Verstappen's having a go at Leclerc as they head round into turn 3. Looks like Verstappen's gone round the outside of Leclerc there. And as has been the case so often this year, when Leclerc has been on pole and Verstappen hasn't, he is in T1 already. And there's already a yellow flag. Bottas and Alonso have made contact down into turn 2 there. What has happened there? But Verstappen, importantly, as we just said, when Leclerc is on pole, he gets ahead very quickly. When Verstappen is not on pole, he gets ahead by the first corner. He's done it so often this year. How often have we seen that? And well, Alonso and Bottas have got moving, but I imagine there's probably damage. We'll see on the TV coverage just a second to see what has happened. But Verstappen already 1.3 seconds ahead. And guys, that is your Vegas Grand Prix. Welcome for tuning in. Have a lovely weekend. It's all so often. Oh my God. So Max basically did his Max Verstappen move on Leclerc down into T1. Ran him out of circuit. And guess what? There'll be no penalty for it because they'll say it's Max's corner. So yeah, Max did the Max Verstappen move. Leclerc did try to come back at him down into T5. But yes, that was a very trademark Max Verstappen move there down the inside, forcing Leclerc out of racing room. And well, yes, I would be, yeah, if I was Leclerc, I'd be straight onto the radio saying he pushed me off the track there. He pushed me off the track. He pushed me off the circuit. But we'll see. And there's a virtual safety car deployed, guys. There is a VSC at this moment in time that is probably due to the damage and debris down into T1. But Perez does seem to be in the pit lane already. Maybe there's been an incident by Perez. He had a very slow middle sector. So I think Perez might have picked up some damage, actually. I'm just watching the TV coverage. Has he done anything here? Alonso reporting he does have damage. So Alonso coming into the pit lane. So is Bottas. TV coverage still not reported, still not showing a replay of that first lap incident or first corner incident. But yeah, VSC is deployed, and Hamilton has lost 4 places there on the hard compound tyre, down in 14th. The McLarens are big winners there. Piastri's up 12 positions. Tsunoda's up 9 positions. Stroll's up 10 in that start there on the soft compound tyre. So the softs very, very grippy at the start of this race. But while there's a VSC, I'm sure we'll get a replay of those incidents at the start. But yes, if basically the highlight here, guys, from what I've initially seen coverage-wise, is that Verstappen, yes, he did get a good start, but it wasn't enough to not run Charles off the road. So Perez has had to change the front wing, so I think he picked up debris. Maybe Perez had contact with Alonso. I'm going to assume. But yes, Red Bull reporting, we are happy that you were ahead into the corner, and basically it's your corner, Max. They're not going to say anything different, are they? They're not going to say anything different. But if I was Leclerc, I'd be straight on the radio having a go. Still no replays yet. Obviously, there's debris down at the first corner. That's why the VSC was there. It's now all cleared, and the VSC is ending. So we are back underway here. Gasly in. So here we go. Just watching the replay of the race start as the race is getting underway. I'll get back with the race just in a second. So as per the new racing rule, Alonso loses it. Alonso loses it, guys, and basically it's Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz lost it. So Carlos Sainz is down in 17th, and he actually lost it as well. Yeah, Charles Leclerc reporting. This needs to be addressed now. This is a joke if he gets to keep the position. So just watching the start as Max is pulling away already, 2.4 seconds ahead now. So Logan Sargent here, he is on board. We're going to get to see Alonso. Oh my God, Alonso basically just sent it down the inside and spun it of his own accord, obviously on very cold tyres and full fuel. So not good, a very rare driver error there from Fernando Alonso, which inadvertently he spun round and Bottas basically met him nose to nose. And Sainz also lost it. And then we have a yellow flag as Norris is stopped there. Norris is stopped at turn 12. I think it is a mechanical issue. There is a safety car. We have a safety car within 3 laps of the Vegas Grand Prix. I predicted we would get one. I don't know if this is a mechanical issue or if Norris has indeed put this in the barrier. It does seem a bit of an odd place of where he has come to a stop. It's more so on the exit of a corner that I'd expect to see Norris stop, unless he's hit the barrier a little bit earlier. But I think this is a mechanical issue for Norris. Let's just wait for the TV coverage and see if this is the case. Charles Leclerc is going to bunch the pack up, though, and will probably allow Leclerc to have another opportunity to close the gap and maybe have a go at Verstappen. But where is the crash from Norris, or the issue? Just wait. Oh, yes, the TV cameras. He's literally crashed right at the TV cameras. He's hit the wall on entry. And, well, that's a bit... Oh, my God. So, basically, that icon there is where Norris hit the wall. He's actually hit the wall and gone straight on into the runoff, guys, onto turn 12. He's out of this race. That is for sure, Lando Norris. Oh, my God. What happened there? That's a big driver error for sure. Got to be. He's hit the wall on pretty much a straight section. It's almost George Russell-esque is the first thing that's coming to my mind. In Singapore, at the end of the Singapore Grand Prix. Do you remember that, guys? So Martin Brundle is reporting that he had a tank slapper under braking and then hit the wall. But just waiting for a replay to see exactly what occurred there. But yeah, first thing that comes to mind is kind of the George Russell at the end of the Singapore Grand Prix, where he nicked that wall kind of on the straight on the entry to the corner, and he's just gone straight on, unable to stop the car. And yes, we have some drama here already in 3 laps of this Vegas Grand Prix. Cold tyres, no grip. Most likely, yes, most likely is what I would put that down to. No, I've run out of coffee and the missus is asleep and I've got no one to make me coffee. No, I should have made a pot of coffee, guys. I assume so, yeah. If that's what Martin Brundle is reporting and he's had a tank slapper there under braking, that is most definitely due to cold tyres. You wouldn't get that. Because if you look at... Oh, hang on, I'm just watching it now. Oh my God. He's lost it on... He's not even under braking. He's lost... The back end of the car went through the corner. That is most definitely cold tyres and dirty air. So watching on the onboard... Oh, that is such a... Like, that's not Lando's fault. There's no way that's Lando's fault. How are you to predict that the car is going to react like that? Like, especially... So he's for anyone who hasn't got any TV coverage, guys, what Lando has done is that basically it's flat out from here and he's going through turn 11. And as he's gone through turn 11, the rear end's just snapped. Like, you can't predict that as an F1 driver. I think it's a combination of the dirty air as well, as he's gone through there. I mean, maybe he has kept it full throttle too much. It is definitely a full throttle section, but yeah, as he's gone through turn 11, which should be easy flat, even really on the colder tyres and the full fuel, even at this stage of the race, the car snapped on him. So probably some dirty wash from his own teammate in front, which of course is unintentional. It's just how F1 cars work. And yeah, the car snapped and he couldn't save it. That's a very, very bizarre crash. Very bizarre crash. So yeah, he's out of this race and we have a safety car for the Vegas Grand Prix. So let's have a rundown of the grid thus far. So we have Verstappen, P1 from Charles Leclerc. As I said, I think by the letter of the new overtaking rules, Verstappen will probably be able to hold... Well, he will be able to hold onto that position. And I don't like it. I haven't liked it. Never have liked it. And yeah, Max has basically done what I would call a typical Max overtake, lunging it down the inside, and forcing Charles Leclerc out of racing room and off the circuit. But technically, it's his corner as per the new racing rules, which I do not like, and he's able to hold on to that position from Charles. George Russell up in P3, Gasly is in fourth. The Williams guys who predicted double points. I know one of you in here said double points for the Williams teams. So Albon and Sargent going quite well at the moment in P5 and 6. Just keeping it clean. Ocon is up 9 positions. Ocon's up 9 positions. Wow. Wow. Magnussen and Hulkenberg in 8th and 9th. Tsunoda, who started dead last, is up 10 positions in P10. And this is helping Tsunoda because he has the grippiest tyre out of anyone on the grid right now. The only man on the soft tyre. And the longer we're behind this safety car, the longer his soft tyres will like this and help him. Piastri in 11th. Hamilton down 2 positions now in 12th. He is on the hard compound tyre, so Piastri and Hamilton wants to keep an eye out on. They're on the alternative strategy compared to those ahead of them, trying to go long. Ricciardo in 13th, up 1 position. Zhou up 3 positions, as well as Stroll. Looks like Stroll pitted under the safety car to come onto the hard compound tyre. There's a possibility here that this hard compound could potentially go to the end of the race. We'll see. Maybe that's what the Aston Martin is predicting there. Perez, who had damage at the start from debris, is in P16. Sainz had a spin. I think he got preoccupied by Alonso spinning in front of him. Is down in 17th. And Alonso and Bottas, who we know who did come together there at the bottom of the grid. And there we go, guys. There we go. So Hamilton just reporting, just check for my front wing because there's potential of debris because he was right behind Lando when he crashed there. But it's clear in sector 14 now. It's reporting, but I don't think that's where Lando crashed though. Lando crashed in turn 12, so. But multi-viewer Alex, so you need to yeah, it has been down, so F1 had issues and they got it live just before the race started, thankfully. So this is multi-viewer free app. It does tap into the F1 live feed, so if you can sign in through there and then you can have all of this. But Norris nearly took out Piastri. He did, yeah. Cold breaks too, and they're getting colder. Yes. So I mean, the restart here could also be very... Because the track looks very, like, what I would call greasy, almost. There's a big shine to it in certain areas, especially through the first sector. So, yeah, we'll see. The tyre... I mean, Lewis could get swamped here. I say he could get swamped. He probably will get overtaken by Ricciardo. Ocon's to give a position to Magnussen, is he? Interesting. Right, here we go, guys. Safety car is coming in. We are about to get back underway. 6 laps completed. Only 3 racing laps, believe it or not, I think, or 2 racing laps because we had the VSC for a couple or so laps as well. For the first lap incident. So here we go. Verstappen backing up the pack here down the Vegas Strip. The safety car is coming in, and we do have some way until this race, until the cars can actually overtake. So here we go. The safety car is in. Verstappen backing them up. When is he going to go? Surely he's going to go at the end of this strip. Get the traction down on turn 14, 15. But drivers need to be aware here. We're going to have cold brakes, cold tyres, and it's almost going to be like a restart. Almost like a normal restart. And Verstappen is away, and Leclerc has lost him slightly. Verstappen 1.1 seconds away. It's pretty much full throttle all the way from here down to the first corner. George Russell staying. So Verstappen, turn one with Max, and Leclerc is with the stewards apparently, so we will get a report on that soon. So that is just coming from GP, Max's engineer, so we'll see what comes of that. It would be a shame. They're saying they're not going to revert positions just yet, but we have a race underway here. So yes, Leclerc losing is 1.5 seconds behind from Verstappen. Importantly for Max, he is ahead of the DRS zone from Charles Leclerc, and he is just not able to break from George Russell yet. Of course, we have 2 laps until the DRS is activated, and then we'll probably see quite a fair amount of overtakes, with the DRS being quite powerful here with the long straight and, of course, with the nature of the circuit. And we have Gasly here being under attack from Albon as they head into turn 12. The Williams team really going for a decent result here today. Sargent also there in 6th position. This is the highest up the grid he has been in a race all year so far. And Albon is well under the back of Gasly's wing here. Is he going to be able to have an opportunity down into turn 14? Of course, have to be careful of those locked up cold tyres, cold brakes. And what is occurring there with Ocon? Ocon seems to be jumping back and forth there. That just seems to be a technical issue with the track map. But Perez has lost a position to Carlos Sainz. Hopefully we can see some attacking from Carlos. It's a real shame that he's this far back, of course, after his 10 grid place penalty, that he received for, of course, that manhole cover taking damage to his car and requiring a new engine, new battery, a whole host of new parts. And yes, he had to start 10 places down. So Hamilton there with the fastest last sector, and he has just got past Yuki Tsunoda there through the first sector. A good overtake from him, and Piastri is all over the back of Hülkenberg here as well as they head down into T5, and I think Piastri has got this move done on Hülkenberg, and at least one of the McLarens, the last McLaren still in this race, is now into the top 10, up 9 positions for Piastri. That is fair going, isn't it? He started 18th and is now up into P9. Pretty decent. But yes, Max there with the fastest lap of the race last time around, a 40.785. Charles Leclerc, a 41.4. Of course, Charles, is he just struggling? And there is a 5-second time penalty. Miracles do occur, guys. Miracles do occur. A 5-second time penalty for Max Verstappen at the start of the race for forcing off a driver. I never thought I'd see the day. And look, guys, if you're a Max Verstappen fan, it is unfortunate for you. But I'm saying we don't want to see those sort of moves in F1 at the start of, in general, forcing drivers off the track. But I believe that's the first time Max has actually been penalised for what I like to consider a Max move. But we'll see. It's a 5-second time penalty. It's not giving the position back to Leclerc, which is unfortunate. But at least he's been penalised. Precedent has now been set, guys, that is not acceptable. And hopefully it is enforced moving forward. But yes, it's officially called a dick move. I don't like it. Because it's basically that gun-ho attitude of you move out my way or we're crashing. And the overtaking rule was technically been changed to accommodate for this, so that as long as you're alongside, it's your corner and you're entitled to force other people off track. He got away with it, in my opinion, at Circuit of the Americas when he lunged from quite far back and forced Leclerc off. It wasn't penalised, but this time around it has been penalised. However, he quite evidently has the pace in the car and at this track already to bridge probably that 5-second gap. So we'll see if it actually has, if it does really affect this race. Of course, he'll be getting a move on now to try and bridge that 5-second gap, which he will be taking at the next pit stop. FIA watching social media going nuts. Yeah, probably. But here we go. So Leclerc is 2.2 seconds behind Verstappen at the moment, who is setting purples. We have Ocon making a move on Magnussen here, as well as Piastri. And Magnussen could be losing 2 positions here down the strip into turn 14. And has Piastri been able to get the move done? I believe he has got it done as they head through turn 16. And yes, Magnussen has lost 2 positions or not. No, he's coming back at Piastri here through turn 17, and Magnussen, close to losing 2 positions at the end of the strip, has been able to retain his P8 thus far, but Piastri is all over the back of him at the moment, and he's got the move done. Piastri ahead through turns 1 and 2. Zhou's also made a position up on Tsunoda there, and Piastri is ahead of Magnussen. Let's see what Max Verstappen's response is to that time penalty. There, that's fine. Send them my regards. Max Verstappen responds. The Saki Max, who we've seen all weekend, is still on form right now. So track limits, by the way, guys, does seem to be in track limits. Ocon has had a time deleted, so keep an eye out on track limits. Maybe there might actually be some penalties dished out for track limits violations at the by the time we get to the end of this race. But yeah, in my opinion, it's glad to see that is finally penalised. It's a move that's gone unpenalised, penalised, whatever you like, however you pronounce it, for far too long, and it's nice to see it enforced. So hey-ho, hopefully precedent has now been set. But Gasly on the attack of George Russell. He has DRS activated. Let's see if Gasly is able to get past Russell as they head into turn 14 in that Alpine, going strong. And he's definitely made a move there on George. Has he been able to keep it together? Of course, very, very easy to lock up the brakes as they head into turn 14. George Russell coming back under traction. Of course, though, it is possible for Gasly to come straight back at him as it is full throttle all the way down to turns 1. We've seen plenty of overtakes already down into T1. As Gasly sets the fastest lap of the race of 39.0, of course DRS assisted, but that is still impressive nonetheless from an Alpine. And Russell has been able to hold on to that position for just a little bit longer, and he really needs to get his act together, Russell, and try and get into the DRS of Leclerc, because that Gasly in that Alpine looks feisty and looks good. All in the meantime, not too far behind him, the Williams of Albon and Sargent are being closed up by Ocon. So Ocon, who is up 9 positions already, Piastri up 10 positions, doing a fine job there. Hamilton in P10 at the moment. He's stuck behind Magnussen, so we'll see if he can make short work of him. He's less than half a second behind Magnussen, so that's probably only a matter of time until they get to the strip, and Hamilton will probably easily overtake the Haas there. Hulkenberg under attack from Zhou now, who's having a good race as well, up 5 positions. Danny Rick 13th. Perez slowly making his way through the field in 14th. Carlos Sainz down there in 16th with Alonso close behind. Expect those two to make their way through the pack steadily as this race continues. So Gasly, again, DRS open, not as close this time around to George. Maybe he used a bit more battery last time around, which is why he was able to get alongside George. So let's see here. Still an opportunity all the way round to turns 1 and 2. Let's see if he's got enough slipstream here, and is he going to be able to close that gap? 6 tenths back. I don't think that's enough to get to turn 1 and have a move. It's not. Woo. Send them my regards. The sass. It is justified, though. It is a justified penalty, in my opinion. I'm still surprised it's been dished out because I thought they would have said he was ahead at the apex. But while he is so he does have his rear wheels alongside Leclerc's rear wheels at the point of braking. But I'm guessing they are saying that move still needs to be done with, in the day, the stewards have all the telemetry to be able to show whether or not Max applied the right amount of brake force, whether he carried too much speed in there that was sufficient enough to slow the car down. Did he like lift off the brake and let the car roll forward, just run Leclerc out of room? They have all of this data to make an informed decision, more so than what we have. And yeah, they've obviously come to the decision that he was kind of not enough in control of his car to not force Leclerc off the circuit there. There's a lot more that he could have done to ensure that there was more racing room. So yeah, that's why. But Gasly there, not as close this time around. And Sargent, I think, is getting overtaken here by Ocon. Ocon definitely looking and poking, showing his nose there as Hamilton's got past Magnussen on the hard tyres. So tell you what, Piastri and Hamilton here are quite well positioned. They're on the alternative strategy, guys. And the hard compound tyres do seem to be coming into a bit of life. A 38.9 from Hamilton last time around, and Piastri a 39.0. To put that in comparison, Leclerc a 38.9 from him, a 38.7 from Verstappen, and a 38.7 from Russell. Gasly a 39.0. Albon. So Hamilton there last time around faster than Piastri, Ocon, Sargent, Albon, Gasly. The only people he wasn't faster were the top 3. So this could actually suit Piastri and Hamilton here. Take the hard tyre long and go onto the medium with less fuel towards the end of the race. We do expect this to be primarily a 1-stopper. 2-stopper is predicted and presented by Pirelli, but I doubt it's really going to come into effect here. But Leclerc there, slightly quicker, purple first sector. Maybe this is by design as well. Leclerc just sitting a little bit further back from Verstappen, just trying to look after his tyres. We do know, of course, the Ferrari there Achilles heel has been tyre management. So yes, Leclerc probably trying to look after those tyres and eke them out and just achieve a lap time delta to ensure that he's making their strategy work. So Sainz, oh no, Carlos Sainz has got to stop the car. Carlos Sainz is about to retire the car. So they just said, we need to call the car now. And he's like, I'm on it, I'm on it. But I'm pretty sure they just informed him that they need to retire the car. He is using an old engine. And we'll see. We'll see if they are actually going to retire Sainz. No. I'm pretty sure they did say we need to retire. We need to stop the car. Or maybe it was otherwise we need to stop the car. But Carlos Sainz is using an old engine. So, of course, already got a fair amount of miles on it at a circuit where, of course, a lot of pressure is put on the engine because of how long the straights are. They get up to max RPM, putting stress on the engine. You really want a brand new unit or a newer unit for this particular circuit. So we'll see. We'll see if Sainz is able to finish this race. I hope so. I hope so. And there's a yellow flag. There was a brief yellow flag there through turns 8 and 9. Was there a little bit of contact made between a couple of cars? Magnussen has definitely fallen back from Hamilton in front. But the yellow flag has been removed as Piastri is making a move on Sargent there, looking at a move at turn 11, getting up real close to Sargent there, where his teammate lost it. But here we go. DRS is now going to be activated for Piastri as they head down the strip. Hamilton is very close behind as well. Sargent could be at risk here of losing a couple of positions, but I think Sargent, saving grace for Sargent is that he has got DRS from Ocon in front. But look at that pack there of Ocon, Sargent, Piastri and Hamilton. And Hamilton does seem to be in a bit of a groove at the moment. A 38.4 last time around for Hamilton and a 38.6 for Piastri. Hamilton does seem to be coming alive on these hard compound tyres. The hard compound in general does seem to be, because you can see Perez there, a 38.3 last time around, and he's overtaking Magnussen here through turn 17, and Magnussen is coming into the pit lane to get off of those medium compound tyres. He is struggling. And Alonso there as well, down in 14th. So we are definitely at the stage of this race where the hard compound is coming alive and is the fastest tyre. Maybe that's due to the medium tyre falling off already. Only 14 laps completed. But yes, the hard compounds of Hamilton, Piastri, Perez, Alonso and Sainz as well, a low 38.1, are coming into their zone. And this could be the best strategy for them. The hard compound, the alternative strategy, could be best. So track surface slippery in sector 17 is being reported. Not entirely sure what's occurring there, but Verstappen, what has happened there? Charles Leclerc, Max has had a very slow first sector. I think he went a little bit long, and Leclerc is also, due to that, been able to close the gap on Verstappen this lap and is within the DRS and is less than half a second behind Verstappen now as they head down at the end of the strip through turns 14, 15 and 16. And this is what Leclerc needed. So, a rare mistake from Verstappen. We don't see it very often. With a 5-second time penalty to take in the pits, is under threat from being overtaken on track by merit of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. We have a fight on our hands for the race win, guys, as George Russell dives into the pits to get off of the medium compound tyre. Maybe the medium is coming to the end of its life now, and we'll start to see some pit stops. Yes, Logan Sargent also diving into the pits here. And we also have Ocon on the back of Albon now as well, who does seem to be struggling. Piastri and Hamilton on those hard compound tyres, obviously looking to make short work of those two drivers in front on the mediums so that they can get the best of this hard compound tyre. But Charles is all over the back of Verstappen here. Will there be some shenanigans from Verstappen down the back straight of the strip? If he's a smart boy with a 5-second time penalty, I can't imagine him fighting it too hard. And they'll probably look to pit him pretty sharpish, maybe, to get off that medium compound tyre and onto the better performing hard tyre, which it now seems. So Russell has gone onto the hard as well, come out ahead of Danny Ricciardo there. And let's see, down the strip we go. Leclerc on Max. He's going to have DRS. He could have an opportunity here. I think he will have an opportunity down into turn 14. Will Leclerc have enough under braking? Here we go. 2 attempts back. And he's actually ahead in the braking zone. Will he be able to hold it from Max? They're side by side as they head for the chicane. I think Max has given up the position there because there's very little room as you head through turns 15. But Leclerc has got the overtake done on Verstappen. However, Verstappen will be able to come back at Leclerc. And I think Verstappen is coming into the pits and he is straight off those medium compound tyres. So yes, I think Max was struggling on the mediums. He made a mistake the previous lap, and that allowed Leclerc to close up and overtake him. Leclerc does seem to be looking much better on those mediums compared to Verstappen. Maybe Verstappen just pushed a little bit too hard earlier on, and maybe Leclerc sitting a bit further back from Verstappen. And Verstappen was saying, my tyres are completely shit. So Oscar's pitted as well to get off the hard compound tyre. Let's see. So maybe it is a 2-stopper. Maybe we are seeing a 2-stop race here today, guys. I thought we wouldn't. I thought it would be a 1-stop race. But I think Leclerc is actually better on his medium compound tyres than that of Verstappen. It'll be interesting to see if Leclerc is able to keep out on these medium tyres for longer. He did set a fastest first sector. So Leclerc will be getting a move on now as we're seeing some the round of pit stops. But I think Leclerc, that was intentional to look after those tyres, fall a little bit further back from Verstappen to get out of the dirty air a bit and just look after them. And be interested to see, first time with clean air, how he's able to, how Leclerc is able to set a lap here. He was fastest in the first sector. Is he going to be a low 38? If he's a low 38, I think he's doing very well on these mediums and could extend this stint. Or are they going to respond to Max? Of course, Max had a 5-second time penalty. Are they going to go like for like? No, they're not. And that was a low 38 from Leclerc. So that is a great lap, really, on 17 old lap mediums right now. I think that's good. Worth keeping him out there just a little bit longer as Gasly comes in the pits from P2. Verstappen, with his 5-second time penalty, is down in 11th position right now. I can't even see his dot. Where is he? I think he's overtaking Hamilton at the moment. That's why he was overtaking Hamilton down into turn 17 as Hamilton is coming into the pits as well. So this is definitely going to be a 2-stop race, guys, I think. Because they need to change compounds. They need to use 2 compounder tyres. Hamilton will not be able to take the hards, take another set of hards to the end of the race. He will need to pit to the mediums. So I think Hamilton will be on the medium compound tyre and then probably on the hard at the end of the race. But Hamilton is now last. Hamilton now last of the runners, interestingly enough. But he is off of, he is on the alternative strategy and he's out of sync of others. But Hamilton reporting the car is not stopping. The car is not stopping. So maybe Hamilton's got an issue, which is why he has fallen to the back. So, did Max serve the penalty? He did, yes. Which is why he's down in a 9th position. And this is probably what's going to be essential for Leclerc now. So let's see how is Leclerc's lap time this time around. Of course, he's on mediums. Is he going to extend? He is. He is going to extend. So, a 38.9 last time around for Leclerc. So, might be time to pit. Might be time to pit to match Max's. Unless they're committing to the 1-stop. But I feel like with Max's 5-second time penalty, I feel like you need to. If I was Ferrari, I'd probably match. I would probably match what they're doing. Wow, so Lewis's brakes didn't work and he had to take over the corner there to avoid locking up and going long. So 38.3 from Max straight away there in P9 on the hard compound tyres on his first flying lap with them. So yes, let's see what Ferrari decide to do. Interestingly though, where is he going to come out? Where will Leclerc come out? So this is the problem, is that Leclerc pits, he might come out around where, don't know. I don't know where the gap is. They said 21 seconds. So he'd come out just ahead of Sainz if they get a good pit stop, and he pits now. Just ahead of Sainz. So I think there's a gap there. 22.7 seconds between him and Sainz, and just ahead of Alonso. Of course, we know Alonso and Sainz have still got a pit again. So if I was Ferrari, I'd probably pit him now. I'd probably pit him now while they've got that little bit of a gap. But no, they're continuing. A 38.5 from Leclerc last time around. So, okay, that's still the quickest man on track, actually, apart from Max last time around. But Max is now, of course, caught traffic. So he's definitely not going to be as quick. But keep an eye on that gap, guys. So 21 seconds is the average pit stop loss time. So if he has a gap to Sainz and Alonso there of around 21 seconds, so he'd come out just ahead of his teammate, who's 22.6 seconds behind, and he would come out ahead of Alonso. So there is a bit of a gap there for Leclerc to come out into, but they're looking to extend this first stint on the mediums. And yeah, 38.5 isn't too shabby, to be honest with you. Oh no, what's going on with the track map? Come on, sort yourself out, please. Live timing data playing up here, guys. I am going to restart this because it seems to be that has had an issue. Yeah, we do have an issue with the live timing, unfortunately, guys. At the moment, it does seem to be that the live timing has stopped. I do apologise. There were issues at the start of this race with live timing, and oh, we are back. We are back in business. There we go. Honestly, just to top off what the Vegas Grand Prix has been, they haven't been able to really sort out their live timing either. 20 laps off the tyre set is great. Yeah, definitely. And Leclerc's still going. 39.0 for Leclerc last time around, and Verstappen did a 38.3. So I think they're definitely doing a one-stopper here. They're definitely doing a one-stopper, Ferrari. Ocon into the pits now. So remember that 21-second gap. So there's 23 seconds to Sainz at the moment and 25 seconds to Alonso. Of course, Verstappen, with his 5-second time penalty, is further back than he normally would be. And of course, he has traffic to get through. He has, of course, George Russell to get past. And I can't imagine George will make it easy for him. But right, let's have a little rundown of the grid at the moment as Ocon comes out of the pit lane. So we have Leclerc in P1 at the moment, yet to make a pit stop, extending this medium stint on the medium tyre. He's doing pretty well at the moment, considering he's done 20 laps on them. Perez in P2, up 9 positions at the moment. Lance Stroll up 16 positions. He is yet to pit again. He will pit again. He won't be able to take those hard tyres to the end of the race. I highly doubt it. Carlos Sainz up 8 positions into P4. Alonso P5 at the moment. George Russell, who's made a pit stop, in 6th place, as well as Verstappen, who got a 5-second time penalty for forcing Leclerc off of the track at the first corner of the first lap. Rightly justified, in my opinion. Guan Yu Zhou in 8th place at the moment, up 9 positions. Gasly in 9th. Albon 10th. Piastri 11th. Ocon 12th. Sargent 13th. Magnussen, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, and Hamilton at the bottom there of your screen in 18th. And it does seem like George Russell is all over the back of Alonso at the moment, and he is very, very tight there. As Leclerc dives into the pit lane, guys. Here we go. Come on, Ferrari. Come on. I am a Ferrari fan today. Come on. Good pit stop. Good pit stop. He's on the hard compound tyre, and he's come out ahead of his teammate, Carlos Sainz. That gap which we was noticing. A very, very good pit stop there from Ferrari. Come on. You can do this, Charles. You can finally convert that pole position. 11 pole positions in a row now, I think it is, that he's gone without converting. Like, he's got the all-time record, I think, or joint record for that. So, yeah. Max has indeed served his 5-second time penalty. Yes, he did it at the pit stop. So Max is flying now, though, as you can see. Max there in P7, a 37.8, a full second quicker than that of George Russell, who is being slightly held up here. Well, he is, not slightly. He is being held up quite severely by Alonso, and that has allowed Verstappen to really close the gap. So George Russell, not only looking ahead to try and overtake Alonso here, is going to be looking in his rearview mirrors at that Red Bull of Max Verstappen, and, well, Max chomping at the bit, obviously maybe feeling aggrieved, or will be feeling aggrieved, of that 5-second time penalty. Has he got the chops to make it up? So Alonso has been overtaken by Russell, and I imagine Verstappen will also be looking to make the overtake on Alonso down into turn 14 as well. 2 places lost in one straight there, I think, from Alonso, although he's late on the brakes. Alonso, they're very, very close there. Russell, Alonso and Verstappen through the tyre section of the circuit. And I imagine Verstappen will look to try and overtake Alonso down into T1. Let's see if he's able to do so. Of course, Alonso, very, very well done there to hold off Max, because he didn't have DRS and Max did. And Max is making a move on Alonso down into T1, and he gets it done. He gets it done, and George Russell will be thinking, damn it, why couldn't Alonso just hold him up for one more corner, just to give him a bit of breathing space, as Russell is now just ahead of Verstappen, but Verstappen will have the DRS. Piastri flying really well, considering the McLarens haven't looked strong here all weekend. Piastri going really well and trying to recover some well-needed points for the McLarens after Lando Norris is out of this race on the 3rd lap due to losing control of the car through turn 11. Very odd behaviour from the McLaren there at the start of the race. And yeah, he just went straight into the wall. Out he goes. So Leclerc is at the moment in P3. He's on his first flying lap on these hard compound tyres. Importantly for him, he has a 4-second gap, I think 3-second gap to Verstappen while he's getting these tyres up to temperature. That's important for him. So Verstappen, who is on a 6-lap old hard tyres at the moment, has the benefit of them being up to temperature. I hope Ferrari don't bin it. Me too, Ma. Me too. Thank you for the sub, by the way, Aru. Thank you. And Kaka, I do apologise. I do apologise. I completely ignored your re-membership, buddy. Thank you very much for being a member for 13 months. And guys, if you'd like to support this channel and like to support me, you can subscribe. We'll be back here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in a couple of weeks' time. And of course next year for the F1 watchalongs. And I'll do my sim racing content. And you can also support me further by joining the pit crew and becoming a member of the channel for less than a small coffee. Hamilton gets so far behind. So Hamilton had an issue with his brakes, I think. He locked up into turn 14 or turn 5. One of the corners. He locked up and he had to take to go on the inside. He lost a couple of positions. So he was looking very good on the hards, and the mediums he's not looking so good on. So this middle stint, I think it's definitely a 2-stop race. This middle stint is going to be tough for Hamilton. But he does have a set of soft tyres at the ends to use, so maybe that's his plan. Go hards and go medium and then go to the softs. But Carlos Sainz here being deployed as a blocker, I assume, to assist his teammate, is under attack here from George Russell as they head down the strip, and he's already been overtaken by George without the DRS even turned on yet. And I imagine he'll probably lose a position to Verstappen as well. And, oh no, Sainz is, what the hell is going on here? They're like 3 wide as they head down the strip there. And Verstappen, has he gone for a move on Carlos Sainz? He has. So Sainz has lost 2 positions there down the back straight of the strip to both George Russell and Max Verstappen. And George Russell, once again, must be thinking, for God's sake, why is Max still on my behind? Can someone just hold him up for one corner at least? As, yes, a very, very long back straight there, as Sainz, maybe not straight, or without DRS, was a bit of a sitting duck with 2 very fast cars straight behind him with DRS activated. So here goes Verstappen, DRS down this short middle straight here. Is he able to get Russell on the brakes? He thought about it, and no, George Russell holds on for just that little bit longer. So I'm just watching this double overtake of the of Carlos Sainz down the strip. And George was already alongside Carlos Sainz before DRS was activated. And then Max opened the DRS and it was like, meow. Oh, mate, yeah, that Ferrari looks so draggy. That's what happens when you're punching the hole in the air. So, Ocon there, 37.6 going. So, oh, Verstappen, has he thought about a move? Oh, my God, Verstappen's lunged Russell into turn 12. Wow. So Verstappen has lunged George Russell into turn 12, and also, does he get DRS? How was neither Verstappen or George got DRS there? That's intriguing. As we have another stoppage in the live timing data. Do apologise, guys. Do apologise for the temporary delay. Just watching this overtake now on the TV cameras, guys, while we have a slight delay in the live data. There's been some technical issues today. If you're just joining us with the live data from F1 as a whole, so it's not been a good weekend for the F1 at Vegas. Oh, mate, the grip of the Red Bull. Oh, he made contact with George Russell. There was contact with George Russell and Max Verstappen there as they made that overtake. Verstappen has taken a chunk of the floor of George Russell there on that overtake through turn 12. Oh, that is Max obviously just trying to make up as much ground as possible. I imagine, will that be investigated? We will see, or is it just a racing incident? But he's definitely taken a chunk of damage out of the Mercedes of George Russell. I wonder if Max has some damage as well. We will see. We'll see how much performance. We'll see what damage he actually has on the car. And there is a yellow safety car. There is a safety car. Max saying he just turned in on me. I don't think he did, Max. I don't think he did. I think you dived. You great move, but you just carried a bit too much speed there. Again, we'll see. Need to see a replay as Perez is in the pits, and oh yes. So this right here. So someone said about Perez. This has massively benefited Perez because now, with him kind of goal hanging, he is going to be in P2. Perez in P2, up 9 positions. Wow. Perez up 9 positions. He's now in P2 and is now the pole Red Bull. Oh, hang on. I actually know. Do you know what? Oh, actually, hang on. Show me that onboard again. Show me that onboard. And now I see it back. I take it back. George Russell did turn into Max. Yeah, I take it back, guys. He was Max was right. I do apologise. From the TV camera angle that we initially got, that looked like it was Max's fault. But then when we saw the onboard of Max hits the apex, is in control of the car, and George definitely just turned into him. So yeah, a big misjudgment there from George Russell. And that is what has brought out the safety car as we have debris being cleared from the track. Wouldn't be in that position if he didn't push Leclerc off. Well, it wasn't a lunge, really, from Max. It was a very, very good overtake. So he's got the grip. He's on the inside. I mean, when you watch the overtake, it's a very good overtake. Like, it is. Like, he's on the inside of turn 11. Swoops around the inside. You can't really see it. But, yeah, he swoops around the inside. Has it controlled. Hits the apex. He's not carrying too much speed. And George just does turn in too early. George has misjudged it. So... oh, guys. Lewis gave Max no room. Lewis, that was George. He couldn't turn in yet. It would have been corner cutting. It wouldn't have been corner cutting. George. George basically just turned in too early. It wasn't Max's fault. It was a good overtake. So But there is an investigation involving Russell and Verstappen. I mean, I've only just seen the onboard from Max, and I think that's George's fault. But we'll see. The stewards have a lot more information than we do. I've only seen one replay. Need to see it again. Need to see it from George's perspective as well. It didn't show George's onboard. But yes, here we go, guys. Here we go. Let's have a look at this grid. So we have Leclerc, who is only just kind of on brand newish hard compound tyres. He is up there, obviously in P1. He has Perez, who has been a massive beneficiary of this safety car. He was, after the first lap, down in, well, almost last position. Then we have Gasly in P3. We have Piastri P4. Yes, both Gasly and Piastri yet to pit. Verstappen has gone on to a brand new set of hard compounds tyres, the second set that he has available to him today. When we have Ocon up 10 positions. Just watching Carlos Sainz's pit stop. I think they were checking to see if it was an unsafe release by the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen got out just ahead there of. There's lots of kind of checking unsafe releases, but yes. So then we have strolled up there 12 positions in 7th. So the big beneficiaries of this safety car are Perez, Piastri as well, Ocon and Stroll. Particularly Stroll, who's gone onto the hard compound tyre. We have Albon in 8th, Russell in 9th, of course, with that damage to his floor with his contact with Verstappen. Then we have Carlos Sainz there in P10 on a brand new set of hard tyres as well. These tyres should comfortably see them to the end of this race. Then we have Alonso Sargent in 11th, Alonso 12th, Zhou 13th, Magnussen 14th, Ricciardo 15th, Hulkenberg 16th, Hamilton, unfortunately, down in 17th position. He did look better, Hamilton, on the hard compound tyre, but unfortunately for him, I imagine most people now with this safety car will be taking it to the end of this race, so he doesn't really have too much of a tyre advantage. Then we have Bottas in 18th, down 11 positions for Bottas, and Tsunoda in 19th, with Norris the only retiree at this moment in time. So yes, let's see what this race has in store for us. Hopefully, as the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, let's see if Leclerc can get a good start here. Come on, Leclerc. Come on, Leclerc. You could do this, boy. You could do this, boy. Hit some likes, guys. We have 440 of you here in the chat right now. Thank you, everyone. If you could hit the like button, we are at 53 likes. If we could get that to over 100, that's less than a quarter of you. That'd be brilliant too. As we restart this Vegas Grand Prix race. So here we go. Leclerc backing up the pack here. When is he going to go? When is he going to go? And there is a 5-second time penalty for George Russell for causing a collision. So that backs up my assessment that it was indeed George's fault for causing that collision. And here we go. Leclerc is off out of turn 16 under traction. Full throttle as they head round the non-existent pretty much corner. Turn 17 flat out as they turn through here in these F1 cars, and into turn 1 they go. But a great restart, it seems, from Leclerc, as Perez is already under attack from Gasly. Gasly really putting the pressure on Perez there, but Perez does seem to have got a bit more traction out of turn 3, and Gasly is under attack from Piastri, and likewise Piastri on Verstappen as well. So, let's see if Piastri is able to get ahead of Gasly there. And he does. Piastri up into a podium position right now. 15 places gained as it stands at this moment in time. Is his hard compound tyres, though, going to last to the end of this race? You do expect Max will catch him at some point. He'll make probably very quick work of Gasly. But that McLaren does seem to have come alive in this race. And because where it has been struggling throughout all the practice sessions. But Perez now, guys, is on the back of Leclerc. Perez is 0.6 seconds behind. Of course, no DRS until 2 laps after a safety car restart. But does Perez even need it? He is less than 7 tenths from Leclerc. Does he have enough in just the toe to catch up with Leclerc down into T14? Doesn't look like he does. That Ferrari is very, very quick in a straight line, it seems. So, little bit, about a 10th gain there from Perez But Perez has an opportunity here to win the Vegas Grand Prix. I think many people would like to see Perez win this race, but I feel like I just want to see Leclerc convert a pole position. Come on. No further investigation needed for an unsafe release for Max Verstappen. Yeah, it did look like it wasn't too bad, to be honest. But let's see, as they get these tyres up to temperature, how they are going to be able to cope. So Verstappen, interestingly, not able to get past Gasly there. And every lap that Verstappen is held behind Gasly will hurt him in his chances for winning this race. Hamilton up a position there, overtaking Ricciardo, now up into 16th place. Alonso is also under attack here from Carlos Sainz. I think not Carlos Sainz, Guan Yu Zhou actually, and Alonso holds onto the position there. But Perez very, very close to Leclerc here. And oh dear, has Leclerc lost a position? No. Does seem like Perez made an attempt on Leclerc there as they head into turn 9, or at least got very, very close. 0.38 seconds behind Leclerc now. And, well, he's just got to bide his time, I think, Perez. Perez has just got to bide his time, and Leclerc, while it might be inevitable that he ends up being overtaken, how will he be able to respond? Of course, overtaking is one thing, defending is another. And Verstappen here, most likely going to make a move on Gasly down into turn 14. We're seeing a bit of an angry Max today. He's not happy about that 5-second time penalty at the start of this race, and is he able to get Gasly on the brakes as they head down into turn 14? It definitely looks very close, as Perez wasn't able to overtake Leclerc, but there will be DRS next time around as they cross the start-finish line. Verstappen all over the back of Gasly here, less than half a second. And, well, does Max like a move into turn 1? We know he does, but is he close enough? And no, he's not. But does he go for the move on the outside? No. So once again, Gasly able to hold off the Red Bull of Max without DRS, but DRS will now be activated. So Perez down into turn 5. Not really too much of an overtaking opportunity here. He'll just be biding his time. But guys, all the while this is happening, look who is closing up the gap. Oscar bloody Piastri. Oscar Piastri, my man, up in P3, the man I have crashed into on iRacing. Yes, I have crashed into a Formula 1 winner, McLaren driver on iRacing. That is my claim to fame, guys. Is closing up on this battle between Leclerc and Perez. But Perez now, let's see if he's able to overtake Leclerc. The DRS will be enabled this time around. Here comes Piastri. Piastri just outside of that DRS, importantly, but I assume, no doubt, with the DRS of Perez and Leclerc and them potentially fighting and going side by side here, that will allow Piastri to get within that DRS. Does Perez go for the move on the brakes into turn 14? They're definitely side by side. And Leclerc, does he get the traction? He does. He holds onto the position for just a little bit longer. And Verstappen, now with the DRS assistance, does get past Gasly and will be able to make his way forward towards the back of the McLaren of Piastri. And we are in for a fight here, guys, for the end of this Las Vegas Grand Prix. As once again, on 16 old lap tyres, Piastri has set the fastest lap of the race. Wow. Absolutely flying in that McLaren at the moment. Also, Hamilton doing not too bad up there in 15th position. Well, down there in 15th position. Fastest last sector there. Did look more comfortable on the hard compound tyre. As Perez goes for a move on Leclerc again, showing his nose into turn 5. He is chomping at the bit. He knows he needs to get past Leclerc as quick as he can. He wasn't able to get the job done in Brazil against Alonso. Will he be able to get the job done against Leclerc? We do kind of think it's a matter of time, but holding on to that position, is that going to be possible as Max goes fastest in the first sector, closing down that gap to the McLaren of Piastri as they head once again round turn 12 into the strip. Will Perez, who is slightly closer this time, half a second, will he be able to get that move done as they head into turn 14? Perez is the worst overtaker. He's not as aggressive as others. Max is flying, by the way. 2 purple first sectors. So here we go. Perez, DRS open. Does he have enough to get Leclerc down into turn 14? The track map definitely indicates that he is ahead, and I think he's got this move done. He has indeed. So Perez has moved ahead of Leclerc with the assistance of DRS into P1. Leclerc now in P2, but will he be able to hold on to that position? Roles reversed now. Leclerc will have DRS. Of course, though, Leclerc does have a McLaren in his DRS zone as well. And a 36.6 for Verstappen there in clean air as he's chasing up to the back of this front three. It's only a matter of time, really, until he catches up to them. But will he be able to overtake as well? Well, I say a matter of time till he catches up to him. He's already on the back of them. So we have a 4-car fight here for the win, it seems. I do imagine all of these drivers will be taking these tyres to the end of the race. They won't be needing to pit again. Even Piastri on 17 old lap hards, he'll definitely be able to go to the end of this race. I mean, look at the lap times. He's setting as 37.4. He's comfortable at the moment. But this is a tremendous drive from Piastri. Benefiting a bit from, of course, the safety car. But he's doing a tremendous job. Oh, Checo, king of the streets, king of the streets. Yeah, so it's important now. Will Leclerc be able to hold on to Perez? And he's already lost that DRS. He's already lost that DRS of Perez. He lost a bit of traction out of turn 12 there. Of course, he's now within the dirty air. And Leclerc, will he be able to come back at Perez? He is in the DRS now, but he didn't have it activated this time around. Now, Verstappen is having a move on Piastri down into turn 14. Is he able to get past? He is. So Verstappen is past Piastri. Short. He made quick work of him. Now, I did not expect this, guys. I did not expect this. Are we going to see a Red Bull fight? Are we going to see a fight between the two Red Bulls of Perez and Verstappen? Because it definitely seems like it's shaping up that way, doesn't it? It definitely seems like Verstappen and Perez could be battling it out for this win at the end of this race. So, Checo in P1, Leclerc P2. He does now have DRS though. So, Leclerc, is he going to be able to come back at Perez? Piastri. Sorry, what did someone say? Piastri has to pit again. I don't think he does. I think he can take these to the end of the race. We'll see. I don't know why you would make him pit again. You just try and get him into a bit of tyre saving mode right now. And hope that maybe there's an incident between the top three that he can capitalise on. So, yeah, let's see. But we know Max is, of course, going gun-ho at the moment. Maybe taking a bit too much life out of his tyres compared to Perez and Leclerc. So we will see. But a fastest middle sector from Verstappen here, as he is just outside the DRS of Leclerc. Leclerc does have DRS. That Ferrari is very, very quick in a straight line today. It's been the fastest car in the speed traps all weekend. So Perez does need to be careful of the Ferrari in a straight line there, because Leclerc could definitely come back at him. But let's have a little quick check throughout the rest of the grid, as Hamilton is ahead of Sargent now up into 13th position, making his way through this field. He'll definitely be on probably the back of his teammate in not too long. So we have Ocon and Gasly in P5 and 6th. Very good performance from the Alpine teammates at the moment. Ocon once again. Gasly must just be thinking, how is it that I'm looking at the rear wing of Ocon once again after a safety car? Ocon has had the best luck when it comes to safety cars and red flags this year, compared to his teammates, who has kind of done everything right in a lot of races this year. So Albon in 7th at the moment, not looking like a double points finish for the Williams team, but Albon definitely holding his own there in P7 at the moment. We know how wide he can make that car. Stroll up 11 positions into P8, another beneficiary of that safety car earlier on due to the contact of Russell and Verstappen. We have Sainz in P10 as well. Alonso 11th, Zhou 12th, Hamilton 13th. There's a big DRS train there from Albon all the way down to 13th position. Sargent is falling back through the grid, which is a shame for him after such a good qualifying and kind of weekend as a whole. But Verstappen definitely the quickest on track, a 36.3 last time around. But DRS activated for Leclerc. Has he got an opportunity to take Perez here down into turn 14? This is the thing. Leclerc needs to be strategic here. He is in a Red Bull sandwich at the moment. Oh, as Leclerc got... Oh, my God. What an overtake. Was that a mistake from Perez? Because Leclerc, maybe late on the brakes there, has got past Perez down into turn 14 and regains first position. What a move from Leclerc. I think that might have been a slight error from Perez as he's coming back at Leclerc into turn 1 and turn 3, and he'll have DRS again as they head down into turn 5, but Leclerc looked like he was so far back, and Leclerc gets the position down into turn 14, but here comes back Perez with DRS. He now has his feisty teammate Verstappen behind, and will there be contact? Will we see fireworks between the two Red Bulls? And this is on, guys, for the win. Wow. Well, I'm waiting to see that move on TV right now, just to see exactly what happens with Leclerc and Perez, because he definitely came from quite far back. Oh, what a move from Leclerc. Late on the brakes. Perez didn't expect it. He actually had to pull out of the corner and move his steering wheel right to avoid Leclerc, because it was a great overtake. But here we go. Is Leclerc far enough ahead to hold off Perez? Of course, Perez is going to have to be more worried about his teammate, I think, who has DRS as well. And I think with the double toe, Verstappen could be having an opportunity on his teammate Perez here. How hard will Perez fight this? Can he fight it as they head down into turn 14? And no, he can't. Perez overtaken by his teammate Verstappen before they even get into turn 14. And even with a 5-second time penalty, Verstappen is now on the back of Leclerc and looking at the rear wing of the Ferrari. But what does Leclerc have in that Ferrari? We have 15 laps remaining of the Las Vegas Grand Prix as we have Leclerc in P1 from Verstappen, from Perez. This race is not over by any means, and we have Piastri biding his time there in P4 as well. But to be honest, that is a result that I think McLaren would absolutely pull your arm off for right now, after starting all the way down in 18th position and with Lando Norris out of this race as well. Maybe Piastri can still get involved in this. I don't think so. But of course, you never know what can happen with a close fighting front three at a street circuit. Whew. Whew. Right, so here we go, guys. Here we go. So Verstappen half a second behind Leclerc at the moment. Perez now, importantly, just dropped out of the DRS there of Verstappen. That's not good for Perez and not good for Leclerc, because Leclerc needs Perez to have a go at Max. And if I was Perez, I'd be looking at having a go at Max as well. Why not? He's got the championship. He's got the most wins of the year. The Constructors is wrapped up. But I think this is going to be Verstappen easy on Leclerc here down into turn 14. We know the Ferrari is quick in a straight line, but it's not quicker than a Red Bull with DRS open. Here we go. And I think Verstappen has easily got this move done into turn 14 before... Oh, Leclerc's coming back at him. Leclerc's making Verstappen think. Have they gone side by side through turn 14? There definitely seemed to be a bit of a check-up there. And Leclerc didn't want to let that go. Leclerc wanted to make Verstappen think about it, but Leclerc does need to be smart. He does have another Red Bull very close behind him. He needs to stay within the DRS of Verstappen, but Verstappen, with a 5-second time penalty, is now back into the lead of this race. It just shows you what a package that has been this year, the Red Bull car in Max's hands. But even with a 5-second time penalty, he is back up into P1 and ahead of Charles Leclerc. But has Charles Leclerc got enough to come back at him? Does he have enough tyre life? Has Max taken too much life out of his tyres? Has Max taken too much life out of his tyres? Sorry, I was just listening to the engineer of Perez there. By trying to chase this down, we will see. But Leclerc needs to stay tight here. I think he could be he's more going to be so under attack from Perez, and this could be once again another Charles Leclerc pole position converted to a Max Verstappen win, and it'll be 12 pole positions in a row where Leclerc has not been able to convert. Not really a lot of it his fault. A lot of it is mainly down to the car and Ferrari, and then making a car that is quick in a single lap rather than over a race distance. But we'll see. But Leclerc will still get the toe from Verstappen as they head down the strip to turn 14. This is important. It does seem that Perez did struggle to overtake Leclerc, even with DRS open, with only 12 laps remaining after we cross the start-finish line. Woof, woof. It's not turning out to be a bad race, to be perfectly honest with you. I will be honest, it's not turned out to be a bad race. Oh, so want to Checo Leclerc to win. Me too. But look, it could still happen. It could still happen. Only a 36-1 from Max last time around and a 36-2. Leclerc needs to stay within that DRS. Will Max's tyres fall off? This is the thing, is that the Red Bull hasn't really had issues with tyres all year. So to ask for their tyres to fall off, it's more likely Leclerc's would fall off quicker than the Red Bulls. So we'll see. But guys, if you could hit the like button, over 500 of you in the stream right now, much appreciated. Welcome everyone if you are coming back. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Where have you been all year? We're going to be back for Abu Dhabi next week, and of course looking forward to the 2024 season as well. But yeah, if you can hit the like button, get that to over 100 likes, that would be amazing. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on for future content. Where am I watching live? So this is multi-viewer, and I'm also got it live on my TV coverage, which you can't see because I cannot show you that for copyright reasons on my phone here. So Leclerc has now dropped out of the DRS of Max Verstappen. He does regain it though through here. He's staying close enough in the toe to regain it. But a very, very good middle sector there from Max. Really getting his foot down, using the rear grip that he's got to set 3 tenths faster that time around. But if we have a check in the middle of the field at the moment, Albon there. Oh, just overtake. Oh, no. Has he been overtaken by Russell? The relative is indicating that he has been overtaken by Russell. But we have a little bit of a train there of Russell, Albon, Sainz, Alonso, and Hamilton. Hamilton up into P12 now, looking much, much better on the hard compound tyre than he did on the medium. And looks like Hamilton's actually going to have a move on Alonso, is he? No, I think that was just a delay there. But Russell ahead of Albon. Albon trying to make his car as wide as possible, but it does look like with those 3 cars close behind him, the Ferrari of Sainz, the Aston Martin of Alonso, and the Mercedes of Hamilton, that he will most likely drop, unfortunately, out of the points positions. Logan Sargent already out of the points, down in 14th, and leading a train of Magnussen, Hulkenberg, and Ricciardo at the moment. As Magnussen seems to be making a move on Sargent down into turn 5. He thinks about it, but he's not able to make it stick just yet. And Magnussen just needs to be patient and wait for the back straight down the strip before he makes that move. But Verstappen there, there's a yellow flag. We have, oh, it was a brief yellow flag. I thought we was about to have more drama. There was a brief yellow flag shown in turn 7. Maybe that was for a brief lockup from someone at the rear there, most likely Ricciardo. And then Verstappen being told, just going to have to work hard to break this toe, Max. So, yes, we'll see. But Perez having a go on Leclerc there. Really, Verstappen needs Perez to make a move on Leclerc. That'll be the opportunity for him to break the toe from both of those, because if Leclerc or Perez go side by side for any portion of this circuit, they will. He will definitely make up time on them and break that 1 second toe. But in all of this, while Max is pushing, is he taking life out of his tyres? We'll see. A street circuit, very easy to lock up here. We know how difficult these circuits are. Very quickly you can end up in a barrier. So we'll see. You've got to set your alarm, Marlin. Morning, mate. Morning. Welcome. Where have you been? Over 100 likes. Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. Welcome. Only 10 laps remaining now of the Vegas Grand Prix. Taki and Terra, thank you for the subs, and anyone else who has subbed in the meantime and it hasn't shown up as an alert, much appreciated. So Perez is definitely making Leclerc think, and Leclerc is slightly falling back now as he is 1.7 seconds back from Verstappen. It does seem like Verstappen is just a lot quicker on those younger hard compound tyres through the middle sector than Leclerc is, who is on 19 lap hards. Unfortunately, it does seem like Leclerc's race has been thwarted by this safety car, which allowed Max to get on those newer hard compound tyres and push towards the end of this race. And of course, also having to deal with the Red Bull of Perez. This is what is very frustrating about the penalty of Carlos Sainz with you guys. Because Carlos Sainz had the pace here this weekend, this is where really Ferrari could have used Sainz to help them with strategy. They could have had 2 cars up there. Made obviously the Red Bulls think a lot more, whereas now Leclerc is having to do this all on his own. He's having to focus and try and catch Verstappen up ahead, but he's also having to look in his rear mirrors a lot as well. And of course, due to that, he's losing a lot of time. So yeah, really unfortunate kind of safety car timing and just weekend from Ferrari's perspective, because of that Sainz penalty and of course the safety car pinning Leclerc back into the clutches of Perez, who massively benefited from kind of goal hanging for that safety car. It's part of the game, it's part of F1, but yes, it's allowed Max to get, even after a 5-second time penalty, onto a brand new set of fresh hard compound tyres, which has allowed him to get into the lead, and now a 2-second lead on that of Charles Leclerc. So yeah. He's turned 13 even a turn. I know. It's like how Red Bull Ring, technically, like, you know, turn 3. Turn 3 should be technically turn 2, but the kink, like the straight, it's not straight, like the bend is considered a corner. So it goes turn 1, then yeah, so it's the same as that. But yeah, they've just asked Max to look after the front right tyre. So they're showing the replay back on Max, on Leclerc. And Leclerc did try to defend late on the brakes, but Max had the inside. And it's very difficult to try and hold and defend around the outside of a street circuit because you have walls everywhere. So, in all of that, guys, it does seem that Albon had an off at turn 4. He had a very, very slow lap. And that has allowed both Sainz, Alonso and Hamilton to get past him, and he is well off the pace now, unfortunately. So yes, the Williams, who started 6th and 7th, I think it was, or 5th and 6th, a very, very good qualifying yesterday, unfortunately, as expected, have gone down the pack throughout this race and are now sitting outside the points. So a shame for them, but of course we've had some safety cars here which have benefited some, and some of them have been a loss. Of course, Piastri, a big gainer here. He is falling into the clutches of Ocon, though, with only 8 laps remaining. So we'll see if he's able to hold on to that P4, but 14 positions up at the moment. Ocon also up 11 positions, as well as Stroll, as Perez has got past Leclerc. Through turn 12 and made the move on Leclerc, just like Verstappen made on Russell, except this time around, Leclerc did not turn in too early like George did. So, a real shame there, guys. A real shame, because that is Leclerc, unfortunately, with no chance of winning this race now. It's going to be another pole position. He's been fouled to convert, and very, very unfortunate. I still think the win was on for Leclerc today. I am on the Missed Apex podcast later on. We'll be going live midday, I think. So, a bit of a shame, really, that circumstances throughout this race, I think, have kind of ensured that Leclerc hasn't been able to win this race. Of course, Verstappen and Perez are on much younger tyres. Oh, Piastri's actually in the pits. Piastri's coming into the pits, so obviously they're thinking he can't make it to the end of this race on the hard compound tyre there. That's interesting, because that's going to drop him outside of the points. Oh, so Leclerc actually went deep. Leclerc went deep into turn 12, and that's why he lost the position. But Piastri here, is he going to come into a set of softs? Surely a set of softs. Maybe he might be able to overtake those front, that train there. And Gasly's fallen down a bit as well, actually. Gasly's had an issue somewhere, and he's now into PA. So Gasly's really struggling there on 26 old lap hards. So that seems to be the limit of the hard compound tyre. As Albon's also got past Piastri there, as he's out on the medium. So he's not even using a set of softs to get him to the end of this race. Wow. So maybe Deg's a bit higher than we suspected. So will Perez be able to respond to Max and close down the gap with 7 laps remaining? I'm going to say no. He had a slow first sector last time around. He was quick in the second. But even though Max was slower on his fastest lap, he was still quicker than Perez. So Bottas saving tyres for next race. But yeah. Oh, the two tyre compound rule. Yeah, apologies. I didn't even realise Piastri was on 2 set of hards. Right, so here we go. So it seems like Gasly is falling back massively. He's probably going to come into the pits as Hamilton is looking at overtaking him down into turn 1. And he is, and Gasly is actually staying out. So Gasly is now into P10. They're not going to pit Gasly because that would put him outside of the points. So they're going to try and see if Gasly can make it to the end of this race. But his teammate Ocon, massive beneficiary of the safety car, is in P4 at the moment, and he's currently 6 positions ahead of his teammate, who hasn't done too much wrong, to be honest with you, Gasly. So Perez needs to be careful. In what sense do you think Perez needs to be careful? He's 4.1 seconds. I mean, Leclerc could get him back. Yeah, maybe Leclerc could get him back. He was definitely Leclerc was 4 tenths quicker than Perez last time around. I mean, Perez was a second slower than Max. Wow, that is a big difference. Big difference. So Leclerc now within the DRS of Perez. So could get an overtake here from next time around from Leclerc. Perez not able to pull away from Leclerc, who we thought was his tyres were falling off here. 35.7 from Leclerc. That's better, Leclerc. That's much better. 35.7 compared to Perez's 36.1. He was faster than Verstappen last time around, Leclerc. So, yep, let's see if he's going to be able to have an opportunity. Of course, it's all about the back straight, out of turn 12, down to turn 14, down the strip of Las Vegas, and just try and keep it tight through this tight, twisty section. Of course, we have seen overtakes down into turn 12, but it's not really the place to overtake unless you are right on there behind. So Ocon is falling in. Ocon and Stroll falling into the clutches of Russell. Russell really on pace, it seems. A 36.2 last time around compared to Ocon of 36.9. So his hard tyres have definitely fallen off of a cliff. Stroll of 36.5. So Russell could still get P4 here. Russell could still get P4. So here we go. Leclerc 9 tenths behind Perez there. He's losing a bit of time through the middle sector. Compared to Perez in that dirty air, not got as much grip, 24 lap old hards as he did earlier on. So let's see how much can he close the gap. DRS now activated. 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, sorry. And then under braking, Leclerc seems really comfortable into turn 14. But Hamilton up behind Fernando Alonso, the 2 old teammates at McLaren. Is Hamilton going to be able to get this move done before he even gets into turn 14 with the DRS assistance? And he does. He gets ahead of Alonso down into turn 14, and Hamilton is now up into 8th position. And yes, he looks much more comfortable on the hard compound than he did on the medium in the middle stint of this race. So Hamilton now into P8, only 1 more position behind his teammate George Russell. Will he be able to catch the Ferrari of Sainz with only 4 laps remaining as he sets the fastest fastest last? And there's a yellow flag. We have a yellow flag in turn 16. Hulkenberg's going very slow. Has Hulkenberg hit the barrier there? I did suspect someone would hit the barrier at turn 14 and 15 at some point during this race. Hulkenberg is stopped. Hulkenberg is definitely stopped there, but the yellow flag has been removed. It says it's clear. Are we going to see a last late red flag or a safety car? Hulkenberg, turn 16. He's definitely pulled off there. Is he off into a escape road? That is the question. I'm waiting to see if what exactly has occurred. But Hulkenberg is definitely out of this race. But he's most likely been able to pull the car off into a safe area. Just waiting for the TV coverage to catch up to see this. What's occurred? As Leclerc is not able to get past Perez once more with only 3 laps remaining. So, yellow flag, sector 3 is now on the TV coverage. What happened? Oh, yeah. So, Hulkenberg has had to retire the car, and he's well off. He's well off the circuit. Yeah, he basically pulled into escape road. So, there will be no late drama in regards to safety cars or red flags here, guys. That seems to be a mechanical issue. So Piastri is up in 11th position at the moment, 35.5, 3 seconds or 2.5 seconds a lap quicker than Gasly last time around. So he will probably get Gasly before this race is finished. But Hamilton up into P8 there, Sainz 7th. Russell on the back of Lance Stroll now. Let's see if Russell can get past Lance Stroll. Is he going to have a move down into turn 5? I think he is. George, late on the brakes, down into turn 5. Already made contact once with Max this race. Is he able to make the move stick? Stroll's definitely come back at him. And Stroll holds onto the position from George for just a little while longer. Oh no, George, sorry, coming back at him. And maybe George will have a dive and think of the Max Verstappen move that was made on him down into turn 12. But Leclerc outside of the DRS of Sergio Perez. It does look like this is more and more likely going to be a Red Bull 1-2. And that will secure a Red Bull 1-2, their first ever in the Drivers' World Championship as well. And there's a yellow flag. Tsunoda's now going slow through turn 14. Yuki Tsunoda, this wasn't in the script. You know you're supposed to help the Red Bull drivers, not hinder them. But Tsunoda's also had an issue as well and pulled off, I think, into the same escape road that Nico Hülkenberg has pulled down. So a very expensive parking space there at the moment, or parking lot, shall we say, down at turn 16. So, but I don't know if it was due to a contact or if it's just a mechanical issue. But yes, he is out of this race, Yuki. So we've had 2 late retirements here in this race. We did think this track was going to be very stressful on the cars at this late stage in the season. Obviously, with engines being at high RPM, puts a lot of stress on the gearbox, on the engines. And, well, yeah, we've started to see that at the end of this race with Yuki and Hülkenberg having to retire due to mechanical issues. Of course, Norris's was due to him losing control of the car and crashing out into turn 12. But Leclerc now back into the DRS. He has 1.5 laps remaining. Is he going to be able to get P2? Ocon is defending from Russell. That is only a matter of time. Russell gets Ocon as well because Ocon is just struggling big time. So here we go. Leclerc. Is he going to have a late move on Perez? He has one more opportunity after this down the back straight to have a go at Perez. Leclerc 0.8 DRS activated. I'm sure they're both using battery deployment at the moment to try and stay ahead and get past one another. And Leclerc very, very late on the brakes. As you can see, the interval went down to below 0.4. And we're going to have one final lap, guys. We're about to approach the final lap of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. If you can hit that like button, guys, for the last lap, it'd be much appreciated if you haven't already. And hit the subscribe button. We'll be back for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in a couple of weeks' time. And, of course, the 2024 season also. But here we go, guys. One more lap of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Verstappen, after receiving a 5-second time penalty from forcing Leclerc off the track at the first corner of this race, is now back into P1. Absolute supreme performance from him. Benefited, I think, from the safety car. I still think Leclerc might have won this race. Need to go back and have a look at the data and at the points the safety car came out to see if Verstappen would have caught Leclerc and potentially pulled away from him. But yes, unfortunately, Leclerc had to stay. He didn't have an extra. He stayed out at the safety car, which meant he was on older compound tyres compared to Verstappen, who was able to put on a brand new, fresh set of hards and just push. But here we go. One more opportunity for Leclerc. He is closer. Let's see. Is he able to maintain the traction out of the last corner? He is. So, 0.75 seconds. We know Leclerc is going to have a move here. Come on, Leclerc. You've got to be late on the brakes. One more opportunity. Down the Las Vegas Strip they go for the last time. Leclerc, is he gaining? Is he gaining? Is he going to have an opportunity? Is he going to brake late on Perez? I'm sure Perez will be moving to the inside to defend from Leclerc. And Leclerc goes late on the brakes. Is he able to make a move on Perez? I think he has. I think Leclerc's got it done. Leclerc's made a move, but Perez is coming back at Leclerc. It's full throttle now. It's a drag race to the finish line. Perez in the slipstream through turn 17. Is he able to hold to the position? It's a side-by-side finish once again for Perez in 2 races in a row. And Leclerc holds on to P2 from Perez with an unbelievable move late on the brakes down into turn 14. But he did previously a few laps before on Perez and regained P2. The best performance that he could ask for in the end after getting overtaken by Max Verstappen. But what a late move there by Leclerc. Well done. Round of applause in the chat for Charles Leclerc. Perez 2 races in a row now where he has finished a nose less than a car's length from a driver across the finish line. But Max Verstappen, guys, as always, as we have said 18 times now this season. Is it 18 times? 18 times now this season. Watson, just watching it on TV now, and Leclerc just made the move. Perez was kind of waiting for it. He didn't. I'm surprised Leclerc didn't cover it off. Perez didn't cover it off more. I'm generally surprised Perez didn't cover that off more. It looked like he was. It definitely looked like Perez just kind of left the door open a little bit, to be honest there. But Leclerc did come from far back. Maybe he didn't think about it. But I would have just defended the inside anyway, because you're never going to overtake around the outside. But yes, guys, 18 times now we've said Max Verstappen is the winner of your race. That is confirming a 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship, though, for Red Bull. Their first time they've done that in history, guys. They've never done it. They've never done it. I don't know why they're showing yellow flags there. Oh, that's obviously because they're going to be shutting off the circuit, I assume. But yes, Perez P3. Ocon up 12 positions into P4. He held off Russell, who had a 5-second time penalty to take at the end of the race. So Ocon there, P4. Stroll P5 up 14 positions. Sainz up 6 into 6th. Hamilton, due to that 5-second time penalty from Russell, actually finishes ahead of his teammate in P7. Russell 8th. Alonso 9th. Piastri able to get P10 in the end. Well done from him. Good performance. Seemed to get a bit more pace out of that McLaren when it came to race day than they did the rest of the weekend. Gasly 11th. Actually finishes outside of the points. Oh my God. You've got to be seething that you finished outside the points after your teammates finishing 4th after like the safety car basically benefited him massively. Albon in 12th, moved further down the grid, obviously after the good qualifying they had yesterday. Magnussen 13th, Ricciardo 14th, finished where he started. Guan Yu Zhou in 15th, Sargent down 10 positions, finishing in 16th. I hate to say it, guys, if you're a fan of Sargent, I think he's out of a seat for next season. I don't know how you can justify it. He had a good qualifying yesterday, but down 10 positions. He hasn't really shown much this year. I think he's gone. It's the only seat that isn't shored up for next year, interestingly as well. Bottas in 17th, down 10 positions as well. Another big loser of the day. Tsunoda, Hulkenberg and Norris are your retirees. And there we go, guys. That is the end of the Vegas Grand Prix. What did you think? I think actually, I will say it surprised me. Pleasantly surprised me. It did pleasantly surprise me. I think that ended up being a good race in the end. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the chat. Snooze fest on. Snooze fest. I wouldn't call it a snooze fest. No, I wouldn't call it a snooze fest. Are you saying that just because Max won? But it's the manner in which he won. Like, he was made to definitely think about it. Oh, mate, how Perez... I don't think Perez was even looking in his mirrors. I tell you what. Sergio didn't see Leclerc coming late on the brakes. I don't think he expected it. I'm surprised Leclerc just didn't... I'm surprised Perez just didn't... I'm really surprised Perez just didn't hold on to the inside there. It was like similar to how it was the few laps previous when he just kind of, Leclerc did him late on the brakes and he kind of turned in and then had to like open his steering up. So very, very bizarre there from Perez. He could have secured P2 there, in my opinion, but it provided us with a bit of drama at the end there with Leclerc getting across the line. And I don't think anyone would be sad to see Leclerc in P2. But once again, what is that stat? Verstappen must rub his hands together every single time Leclerc gets on pole position, because he has won, I think, more races. He's won more races when Leclerc's been on pole position than Leclerc has actually won from pole position. Like, that is a crazy stat, and it's happened again. So very, very unfortunate from Charles. I do think he could have won this race today without the safety car, with that 5-second time penalty for Max. They would have been on. Max had to pit earlier than Leclerc. Leclerc was going to have younger tyres, and then the safety car came out. and Max was able to pit onto brand new fresh set of hards, and Leclerc had to stay out on 5-lap older hard tyres, as well as defend from Perez, who he didn't expect to defend from either. So yes, a very, very well done job from Ferrari in the end with what they were, with the hand they were dealt. But yes, Max had to do it today. He had to do it. He obviously had the 5-second time penalty. He had some overtakes to make. He made contact, obviously, with George Russell. Could potentially have been, he could have been out of the race because of that, not due to his own fault, because Russell received a 5-second time penalty. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, guys. Pleasantly surprised. Leclerc was probably in for 8 laps, I reckon. Definitely, yeah, he would have been. He would have been Josh. But I'm still surprised Perez just didn't cover it off. I'm still surprised he just didn't sit like. It's almost like he didn't expect his last lap. He's done it before. Why would you not expect it? I just think it's a bit of a brain fart moment from Perez. It's easy to say when you're travelling. It's easy for me to say in my chair at home, and he's in a chair going 200 miles an hour. But yeah, I'm just still surprised that he didn't see it. I am. We did say that at the start of the stream, though. Max has been very sassy all weekend, and I'm here for Sassy Max in the press conference afterwards to see what his responses are in regards to the track, the circuit, and just yeah. Because they'll try and get him round now and go, "Oh, wasn't that an amazing race?" And he's just going to be like, "Nah, not really." Oh, thank you, Francis. Yeah, thanks, Tom. Thanks, Josh. Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. Yeah, no, if you want to see more of me, if you've not had enough of me already today, I am going to be on the Missed Apex podcast at 12 o'clock today. Or I believe that around midday today, 1 o'clock today, is when we're going to be going live. And of course, you can listen to the Missed Apex podcast and yours truly on Spotify, Acast, iTunes, other podcasting platforms for your Monday morning commutes. So yeah, what team am I in F1? I'm primarily, I would say, a Mercedes fan or a McLaren fan. Of course, I support Lewis Hamilton. I support the Brits. Shock, British bias, yes. I support Lewis, George, Lando, and even Alex Albon, even though he raced under the tyre flag. I support those guys a lot. I want them to do really well. And I'm also a big fan of Piastri because, as I said, I've crashed into him with... I've crashed into him in an F3 race he crashed into me in an F3 race on iRacing. So this is when he was F2 champion or nearly about to be F2 champion. So yes, that's my affiliation with Piastri, and I've always loved McLaren. So, and I like the Williams team. I want to see Williams do really well, just because of the history they've got and being British. So, but planning for Max loser, no DRS to Checo, and has all the luck as well. Oh my. So there is no cool-down room. There's a cool-down taxi chauffeur, guys. They're literally sitting like this in like the back of a Rolls Royce, and they're chatting about the race as they're being driven to the podium. Oh my god. Oh, that's amazing. I heard there was going to be no cool-down room. It's a cool-down car. It's a cool-down taxi. 4 points now between Mercedes and Ferrari, is it? Yeah, so Charles Leclerc just saying, you guys stopped twice? And they were like, yeah. So it definitely caught Charles out, yeah. They stuck with the one stop, of course, and with that safety car coming out, they stopped twice and had the fresher tyres. Even Max even said, yeah, I think I had 5 lap younger tyres than you. So yeah, if it wasn't for that, I think Leclerc probably would have won this race, guys. I think he would have won this race. What position was Perez? P3 in the end. You had money on sides for top 6, Michael. Cha-ching, cha-ching. But they're just talking about turn 1, how it was tricky. And they're just talking about turn 12, how that was tricky, like gust of winds, lock up. So, yeah, interesting race, guys. Interesting race. Well, I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. It's now 7:45. Yeah. It's now 7:45. And I'm actually wide awake. Perez is a bottle job. No, he's not a bottle job. I mean, in the day, he finished P3 in the end, up 8 positions, so wasn't too bad for him. And they've just secured the top 2 in the Drivers' Championship. But yeah, there we go. It's safe to say, if Max wasn't involved, we would have a very close World Drivers' Championship this year. Despite Checo's shenanigans, he would be leading. Oh yeah, it would be like the closest championship fight. It'd be great. It'd be absolutely brilliant. And it's, yeah, you have to give credit where it's due. Like, that package of Max and Red Bull has been phenomenal. But it is a shame. It is a shame. But he's, I mean, it's his 18th win this year. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But the Vegas race was definitely better than Miami. Agreed. Right, guys. Well, that is it. Let's have a rundown of your final grids. So, one last time. Verstappen is your winner for the 18th time this year. P1, up 1 position, after even receiving a 5-second time penalty for forcing Leclerc off the track at turn 1. So Leclerc finished second with a last lap overtake on Sergio Perez, who was a big beneficiary of that safety car in the middle of the race, allowed him to pit from the lead and come out in P2 and take it to Charles. And that was pretty much the defining moment of this race, I think, with that 5-second time penalty. With Leclerc actually having younger tyres than Max at the point of that safety car until it came out, I think Leclerc would have had enough to have held Max off, as Max still had some cars to overtake to catch up to Leclerc. Unfortunately, that meant that, for Leclerc anyway, that meant that Verstappen and Perez could both pit onto a brand new set of hard tyres, and Leclerc had 5-lap older tyres than them. And it turned out to be the defining moment for him, because Max was just able to push. And yes, pull out a 2-second lead on Charles. Only 2 seconds in the end. And yeah, bring it home. So that is your top 3. Verstappen, Leclerc and Perez. Ocon, another big beneficiary of the safety car, up 12 positions into P4. Same as Lance Stroll as well, up 14 positions for Lance Stroll. There, Sainz up 6 into 6th place. A shame. Maybe we could have seen a 4-way fight for the lead and a bit more support for Leclerc with Sainz up there. Of course, he did seem to be the second fastest driver this weekend, with if qualifying is anything to go by. But unfortunately, that ridiculous 10-place grid penalty for what happened on Friday was dished out to him. So it was always a recovery job for Sainz, up into 6th. Hamilton up 3 positions to 7th, struggled in that middle stint. And, well, he looked much better on the hard compound tyre. Actually last of the runners at one point after the pit stops. And, well, yes, after he made, not too soon after he made his pit stop, the safety car came out and he was kind of at the back of the grid. But yeah, good recovery from him. George Russell received a 5-second time penalty for his collision for turning in too early on Max into turn 12 after a very, very good overtake from Max. So he finished P8. Alonso, P9. Piastri, another good recovery from him, up into 10th place, P8, another big beneficiary from the safety car. Gasly, a big loser of the safety car here. So we have Gasly, Albon and Ricciardo, kind of 2 losers, big 3 losers of the safety car, because they had to stay out on the hard compound tyres for over 30 laps. And, well, yeah, the tyres were just shot. Absolutely shot for him, and Gasly actually finished 11th. I can't believe he's finished like 7 places down from his teammate. That's ridiculous. He was the better driver this weekend, in my opinion. Albon, though, 12th. Magnussen, 13th. I feel like the Haas's are non-existent at the moment. Does anyone even pay attention to the Haas's on track? Does anyone even pay attention to them? I forget they're even there. Just me, guys. Sorry, Haas fans. Ricciardo, 14th. So-so performance from him, as you said. Lost out on the safety car. Guan Yu Zhou up 2 positions in 15th. Sargent, big loser. down 16, down into 16th place, 10 positions lost. We always knew they'd move further back. Probably lost out on the safety car as well, down into 16th. So not great from the Williams as a whole. But I do think that Sargent will be out of a seat for next year. Be very surprised. Unless he comes in with a bucket load of cash from sponsors and backing. I feel like Sargent is going to be out of a seat next year. Bottas, another big loser, down in 17th. Obviously had that contact with Alonso in turn 1, not his fault. And then we lost Tsunoda and Hulkenberg due to mechanical issues. And we lost Norris due to that weird snap he had through turn 11, which sent him into the wall. And there we go, guys. That is the end of the Vegas Grand Prix. That is your final grid. That has confirmed that Red Bull will have a 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship for the first time in their history. Of course, they already have the Drivers' Championship wrapped up and the Constructors. It's a clean sweep for them. Max is most likely going to win Abu Dhabi as well. And that will be 19 wins out of 23 races this season. Wow. Wow. Thank you, Francis. Good night, guys. Good night. Thank you, Cobra. 1-2 for Red Bull in World Championship. Yep. Driver of the day, anyone but the winner for 18 races this year, even when he wins by a mile, makes some brilliant moves and doesn't put a foot wrong. Yeah, who is driver of the day? I'm trying to think who probably is driver of the day. I still would probably put it to Leclerc. I actually would give it to Leclerc. I think Verstappen's a very close second. I don't see... Obviously, those positions gained by Ocon and Stroll were kind of a bit false because they were gained majority through like the safety car and strategy rather than like actual on-track maneuvers. I would say probably Leclerc just because I feel like he didn't do anything wrong today. He was unfortunate with the safety car. He managed the race. He was doing very well with his tyre management. He had the pace. And then it just came down to that safety car and that difference in strategy and tyre life that made the difference. And he made a great overtake on Perez at the end there, and he actually forced the issue. He did make an overtake on Verstappen and held on to it. And then he defended from Perez for quite a consistent amount of time. I would still give it to Leclerc, and I think he's unfortunate not to win this race today. I think he had a very good opportunity of winning it. The cooler temperatures helped Ferrari, and of course, like the nature of the circuit on their issue of tyre degradation and tyre life. And I think Max is a very close second because he had to fight back and do what he had to do. The only reason why he's second is because he still has the fastest car on track, and it's a lot easier for him to overtake than it is for any other car. I do have to put that kind of thing in there, that sense in there. But it was a great drive from both of them, to be honest. A great drive from both. Can't knock them. F1 was bust, empty stands. I have seen, I saw obviously that the grand, I didn't watch too much of the TV coverage. I don't really watch too much of it now. I will watch the highlights afterwards just to catch up on stuff that I missed out on possibly. But yeah, I've seen, we've got someone from the Missed Apex crew who is there this weekend, and she said some stands are full and some of them are just completely empty, like dead. She's obviously complained about what happened on Friday, being shoved out off the circuit or away from the circuit with that practice 2 session. Escalators have been breaking down. It's just been a shit show. It has been a massive shit show, to be perfectly honest with you. And obviously they've got a lawsuit issued against them, haven't they, on behalf of the fans, wanting compensation or refunds or compensation for that practice 2 session, which they got ushered away from. So yeah, the fallout of this track, keep an eye out on your news feed and your Twitter feed for the next couple of days, guys. Turn your notifications on, because I think there is going to be a fallout of this race, this event, shall we say, is going to be, it's not over with. Now the race, they'll try and paper over the cracks because of how I think it was a good race. I won't deny that. I think it turned out to be a good race. But I think there's going to be a heavy PR push now in the coming week of how great a weekend it was, how great a race it was. But try and read between the lines. Have a look at the attendance figures. Have a look at, obviously, this lawsuit that's being brought to them. have a look at the response from obviously the head of F1 to the fans, not basically not saying sorry, because that means they'd be liable for giving refunds and stuff, and that's technically admitting fault. And yeah, and just like fan experience and the cost and stuff like that. I think, yeah, coming days are going to be interesting. £1.3 million over budget. Wow. All out for the running event valid. The race was good. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think the event itself has not been good. The race was surprisingly good. Leclerc. Yeah, I think Leclerc did very well today. He did everything that he could. I mean, I think he did very well, very well. Everyone doesn't belong in the USA. That's a hard disagree. Antonio. I think it does. There's a massive, massive fan base in the US. Massive fan base. But they have sports car racing as well. They have IMSA. They have the World Endurance Championship over there. Like, people think it's just all oval racing. It's not. They have. They're very, very. There are very big F1 fans over in America, because it's not just Americans who live in America. Europeans live over there too. South Americans, like they're massive in F1. Asians, like there's a whole host of different people in America who love F1. So no, I think it's, when you think about it, USA is a continent in an essence. Like, I know obviously North America is Mexico, Canada, and USA, but USA as a country is the size of Europe, or bigger than Europe, which is a whole continent. So when you consider how many races we have in Europe compared to how many there was previously in the USA, it makes sense really that there's at least 3 races in America. So they're back in the car again. This is so bizarre. So Charles Leclerc was saying, at low speed, we have such an issue in the cool-down car. So Australia has diverse. Exactly, everywhere does. So it's not just, you're not just catering to one market. You're catering to a whole host of people who love F1. But of course, the F1 community in America has dramatically grown over the last few years, primarily due to Drive to Survive, bringing in a new audience who previously didn't know the intrigue behind F1. They just thought F1 was quite boring. And then, of course, it helped with 2021 being an exciting year as well, only a few years after Drive to Survive came out. So, yeah. Where's the champagne? They haven't done it yet, have they? With a show like that, penalty for size, no fault of his own, and fans not going to the grandstands. Oh, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that there should... I still think there are other circuits in the world in general. I don't like how many street circuits we've got. Like, we have some perfectly good racetracks that have provided brilliant racing in the past that aren't on the F1 calendar, mainly for that reason. And I don't get this fascination about going to cities to race on their streets. Like, this isn't Need for Speed. It's not Fast and Furious. This is F1. They're primarily meant to be raced on normal circuits. That's kind of what made Monaco so special for so many years. It was not just the glitz and glamour, but that it was, like, for a very long period of time, like one of the only street circuits that was on the calendar. And it was like you're racing around the streets of a city. And now that's kind of been very diluted, and it's more about not the circuit, it's about the area itself and the event itself, not so much a circuit. And that's what Verstappen's getting at. Verstappen is getting at, like, it's more about the show. We've got perfectly good circuits out there, race circuits, which he's a race car driver, he wants to race at. Not race on these big, like, and some circuits are a bit smoother as well, that these cars are primarily designed for, and not around the streets. So that's 3 races Max has won in the States this season. Oh yeah, I forgot about Miami. That's how long ago it was. We've had a lot of F1 this year, haven't we? Miami, Kota, and well, he's won every race on this side of the continent. Did he win Canada as well? Won Canada? Did he win Canada? He won Canada. He won Canada. He won obviously all Miami, Circuit of the Americas, Vegas, and Mexico, and Brazil. I mean, he's won 18 races this year, so it's not surprising. But yeah, he's won every race over this side of the world, I think. So I agree, Pascal. I think there was quite a bit that went on. I think he had a sprinkle of everything, other than a red flag. But I don't always like to see red flags. That means normally that there's been a big crash. But yeah, I was pleasant. I think the overall summarization of that race was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting a lot from the race leading up to it. I'm still not really a fan of the circuit. I still think there's other circuits out there that we should be going to instead of another street circuit. But it turned out to be a good one. It did. It didn't fizzle out. I think there was the worry that the race would fizzle out. We'll see. I think we'll see how future races go if it continues in future races, because part of this race probably being intriguing was maybe the unknown, and then a slight element of the unknown anyway. Whereas when teams know a lot more in the future about coming to this track, how it performs, etc., etc., we could see it be a little bit more spread out. We'll see. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it. Yes, Max won again, but I've always said this. I don't care if... Well, I do care. I'd be lying if I said if I didn't care. But to an extent, if Max won every race of the year, but there was a genuine fight for every single race, and he was made to work his arse off for it, I wouldn't be... I wouldn't mind that. I'd much prefer that than what I've got this year with him winning 18 races in the manner that he's done. Him winning doesn't bother me. It's the fact of sometimes it's more so the manner in which he wins, and that's a bit of the case with anyone. I wouldn't want to see anyone win by 20 odd seconds, 30 odd seconds every single race. So it's not good for F1. It's not good for being a racing fan. I want to see good races like we got today. Yeah, he won, but he was made to fight for it. There was safety cars. It wasn't clean cut if he was going to win. Leclerc was really unfortunate that he didn't have an opportunity. Well, he did have an opportunity to win a race, but unfortunate that he wasn't able to win that race in the end. So yeah, I was surprised about that, guys. I'll be surprised about that. You can't, yeah, exactly. Perez and Sainz. Yeah, Perez was won twice and Sainz was won once. But yeah, there we go, guys. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone who tuned in today. I know it's late if you're over in America. I know it's early for you if you're in the UK and Europe. If you're in Australia and you're in Asia, then it was the perfect time for you. You're probably sitting down, tucking into your dinner, and yeah, putting your feet up after a nice chilled Sunday. So yes, big thank you, guys. I'm going to go and get some rest now. I will be back on the Missed Apex podcast in, well, I don't know, probably around midday, 1 o'clock, sometime in the afternoon. So be sure to tune into that live if you want to see more of me. And of course, listen to it on Spotify and other podcasting platforms as well. Definitely, I'm not on it every week, but it's the best F1 podcast out there, if you ask me. And that is biased. But yeah, have a lovely rest of your Sunday, guys, wherever you are in the world. And I will catch you very, very soon. We've got one more race left, Abu Dhabi. And yeah, not really that excited about Abu Dhabi. Never have been. We'll see. We'll see what occurs there. But we'll be tuning in regardless for our last race of 2023. And then it's bring on 2024, where hopefully competition, well, at least competition at the front is a lot closer. Behind Max, competition has been very, very close. And as someone stated earlier on, it would be probably the tightest championship ever if Verstappen wasn't involved this year. So credit to them and their package. But we do have potential in the future, hopefully next year, for some good championship fights. But yeah, have a lovely rest of your Sunday, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for the subs. If you could hit the like button on your way out, it'd be much appreciated. Subscribe as well. Help build this community that we've got going on here, and turn those notifications on for when I am next live and when my next video goes live too. So have a lovely rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.